Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are the West.
Your Rangers returned home from a road trip of discovery. They seem to find a team chemistry that helped them look like the Rangers teams we know and love. After going 7-4 through 3 challenging teams, they begin a homestand with confidence, ready to return Globe Life Park to the home field advantage it should be. Their first opponent, the Baltimore Orioles, here for 3 games and their only appearance in Arlington this year. Your Rangers are back, and they're coming up next on Fox Sports Southwest. Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T Ubers TV. Now the Rangers back to the friendly confines of Globe Life Park, a very warm and breezy early June evening here in North Texas. First up on this 3-team homestand, the Baltimore Orioles come in the first of 3 against your Rangers. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Graves, Steve Busby. Delighted you could join us on this Tuesday night of Rangers baseball. Rangers happy to be back home after that 7-4 trip, and they're looking for a good homestand to follow that up. But tonight, Tom, it's an offense that needs to get going at home. Played well on the road, but Alex Rios leading the ball club in tonight.
Alex Rios, Buzz, has been a terrific player for the Rangers. He's probably been their most consistent player. He's a guy that doesn't really stand out because everything looks so easy the way he plays the game. He plays with a great deal of style. He was the Rangers Player of the Month for May. He hit about what he's hitting for the season, .312. 5 triples in 1 month is pretty incredible. He drove in 17 runs, scored 16. He has just continued in May, much like he was in April, and pretty much what you can count on for the rest of the year. Very steady player.
Yeah, and the Rangers hope to get some of that consistency from Alex rub off on the rest of the guys. That would really help this offense. Not hitting as well at home as they have on the road, and maybe they can change that up starting with this homestand. Joe Saunders in charge of things tonight. He will get the start for the Rangers as they set to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The first of 3 coming up next on Fox Sports Southwest. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. By the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. And by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Well, great to be back home in the friendly confines here in Arlington. Gary Pettis and Ron Washington and the ball club coming off a 7-4 trip. And before we get started on the first game of this 9-game homestand, let's head down to the field. Emily Jones is standing by.
Well, Buzz, as you mentioned, Joe Saunders on the mound for the Rangers tonight, making his second start since his return from the DL, and got off to a good start, at least a step in the right direction, pitching 5 scoreless innings in Minnesota last Wednesday. A lot of young guys getting opportunities with the rash of injuries with this team. Joe Saunders, a veteran that's getting one.
We made an obligation to him, and now he wants to obligate himself to us, which is what it's about. And he, on this road trip, he certainly showed that. When he wasn't available to pitch until that Wednesday in Minnesota, he was a tremendous cheerleader, and he knows how much that can mean to the other players. So now we're going to cheerlead for him tonight out there on the mound, and hope he just continue to get better from what he did in Minnesota.
And obviously it comes down to throwing strikes, making his pitches, and all those things. But Ron Washington really did speak to the fact that Joe Saunders has been a guy that can be looked to in this clubhouse, and one that really needs a guy like him, and needs a number of guys like him with so many new guys in new roles, that it's nice to have an older guy kind of being just a presence in the clubhouse, and he's been happy to see Joe Saunders do just that, fellas.
Yeah, good stuff, Emily. Thank you. Yeah, Joe Saunders has fit in very nicely, and hopefully he can get his first W in a Ranger uniform tonight. This will be his first home start. And the Baltimore lineup that Buck Showalter, the Baltimore skipper, has put out there to face Joe Saunders tonight looks like this. Nick Markakis leads off. Manny Machado, the third baseman, is next. Then former Ranger Nelson Cruz. Adam Jones in center field's the cleanup hitter. Chris Davis, another former Ranger, is playing first base. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop. Delman Young, DH, is in bat seventh. Jonathan Shoup is the second baseman. And Caleb Joseph is catching tonight, batting ninth.
And the Rangers on the mound, for the Rangers on the mound tonight, Joe Saunders. Check out our scouting report. Injured in his first start of the year. That was way back on April 4th. He was activated from the DL Wednesday and pitched well in Minnesota. He threw a lot of pitches, but he threw 5 shutout innings. In his career, he's pitched very well against the Orioles. He hasn't been beaten. His ERA is right around 4. And the Rangers will hope that he can continue that unbeaten streak and add to it tonight with a well-pitched game in the opener of this long homestand.
Yeah, it'd be nice to run that to 8-0 and get a win in his first Ranger home start in his career. So getting underway, Nick Markakis will lead things off. Markakis stepping in, batting at .299 with 3 home runs, 18 driven in. First pitch of the ball game is a fastball that's just a bit outside for ball 1. Markakis, again, doing a fine job up toward the top of the order. .354, the on-base percentage. Makes that pitch off the plate inside, and it's 2-0. 88 degrees at first pitch here tonight. Down a couple of degrees from what it was about half an hour ago. Breeze coming in from dead center field. 2-0 pitch is fouled away to the left. Well, the Rangers, we remarked throughout the entire road trip that great weather in all 3 cities, Detroit, Minneapolis, and Washington, D.C. You couldn't have asked for better weather than what the Rangers experienced on the road. Coming back home, and same thing. Great evening, a little more humid than what they've seen, but that's all right. Moreland to his right, flags it down. A nice play as he overhands the Saunders covering for out number 1. Good play by Mitch Moreland.
That wasn't hit very hard, but he had to go a fairly good way to his right. And watch the pickup. This is not an easy hop to play. But it hits right in the middle of his glove, and Mitch has always had a nice accurate flip throw like that to the pitcher covering. But the hard part of that play was catching the ball on that tricky hop. Nice. That was a nice play by Mitch. I don't think if it got by him, that Rubned was going to have time to make the play. Well, good way to start the game.
Well, 1 out. Pretty good leather thrown out there by Mitch. Moreland didn't play in yesterday's ball game, by the way. Bothered by a little bit of a sore back, or I should say Sunday's game. But he is back in there tonight and already paying off. Here's Manny Machado, the third baseman. And the pitch is high to him. Youngster who missed the first month of the season, recovering from that terrible knee injury toward the end of last year. Had reconstructive surgery, and he couldn't quite answer the bell for opening day, but 1st of May saw him back in the lineup. And the Orioles very happy to have this young man back. 1-1 pitch from Saunders. Line drive it right at Odor. Maybe a half step to his right, and Woodman there to take care of Machado's hot shot.
Machado did get a half step out of the batter's box on that ball. It's hit so hard.
I'll take a look at the Rangers defense tonight. It's delivered to you by Brake Check. Well, already the leather in evidence here this evening. Michael Choice in left, Leonis Martinez in center. Alex Rios fills out the outfield. You saw Moreland at first and Odor at second on the right side of the infield. Anderson, Beltre on the left side. And Robinson Chirinos behind the plate is a lot of the crowd giving a very nice round of applause for Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, I think it was a mixed reception from the crowd, but the positive ones drowned out the negative ones. Oh, that's nice to see. Nelly has been a great player for the Rangers, popular player, a good teammate, big part of the success the Rangers have had here. And I think that's the feeling of most of the fans. Welcome back, Nelly.
Oh, one pitch to him, and Nelly expanding his strike zone a little bit. He's up there to swing against Saunders. And he's behind in the count 0-2. But boy, when Nelly's been swinging this year, he's been doing a lot of damage. 20 home runs. That's tops in baseball. 52 runs driven in, also the best, and hitting .314. 0-2 pitch from Saunders. And Joe bounces a breaking ball up there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First time Nelly has ever played in this ballpark as a visitor. But his entire major league career in this park as a member of the Rangers. 1-2 pitch on the way. High and tight, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, Joe's popping his fastball at 91 or 92 miles an hour, so he's got good life on his fastball. That should make his changeup even better.
32-year-old goes to the wind and deals. And just a little bit low. The count has gone from 0-2 to 3-2. Cruz with 2 outs trying to get aboard. Adam Jones, the center fielder, is waiting to be next. And Nelly Cruz, you see, named the American League Player of the Week for the week ending June 1st. Payoff pitch. Low ball 4. Well, Cruz draws the 2-out pass, and Saunders not able to get Cruz to offer at that close 3-2 pitch.
He throws a lot of close pitches coming back from 0-2, and Nelly really didn't come close to offering at any. Nelly's not a guy that, in the past anyway, has worked a lot of walks, but this year, that's his 24th walk. That's a fairly good number for him.
And this
After 2 months.
And this Baltimore team as a whole don't get a lot of walks. Their team on base percentage is .315. That's a good 15 points lower than the Rangers, for example. The batting average at .264. So not a whole lot of base on balls worked by Oriole hitters.
The most walks Nelly has ever had is 49. He had 35 last year, and after 2 months, he already has 24. So showing a little more patience, and he's been probably the hottest power hitter in baseball. He leads the major leagues in home runs and RBIs. He's probably not being thrown a lot of good pitches to hit.
Not anymore.
So that probably enters into the walk total too.
Now, Cruz had a dozen home runs in the month of May. That was a new Oriole franchise record, and they've had some pretty good power hitters over the years in Baltimore. People like Frank Robinson and Boog Powell and folks like that. 1-1 to Adam Jones. Pitch outside from Saunders. 2-1 now. Jones, as you saw, the numbers tell you he's having another good, consistent year. This road trip has not favored him too much, though. The batting average is just 200 for Adam Jones. This is the third and final stop for the Orioles on this current road trip. Saunders a check of first, the 2-1. And 3-1 now. Oh, Joe, after getting the first 2 outs relatively quickly, has run into a little problem since getting ahead of Nelson Cruz 0-2, then losing him on a walk. He has fallen behind Adam Jones, a very dangerous right-handed hitter, 3-1. Chris Davis, a left-handed swinger, waiting in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, Jones hit 33 home runs and drove in 108 runs last year. He's definitely a run producer in the middle of the lineup.
3-1 pitch. Hard hit into left field, a single. Stopping at second is Cruz, so Jones on a 3-1 count. Rangers probably fortunate he didn't get that ball in the air. He hit it pretty solidly.
Yeah, you could tell that he was geared up for the fastball. He had a great swing at it. He got the bat in the position he wanted it to be in to really drive that pitch. He just got on top of it, and as you said, Buzz, it is fortunate that he got on top of that ball. That's looking for a fastball and a fastball count, and a power hitter getting his pitch, taking a beautiful swing at it, but just hitting on top of the ball enough that it never was elevated.
So a 2-out walk followed by a single, first and second, and Chris Davis hitting just .230 is up there. Rangers going to an overshift, and Davis takes a strike on the inside corner. Rangers with 3 players on the first base side of second base. Elvis will play about 3 steps on that side. Trying to keep Cruz a little bit close at second. Adrian Beltre with Cruz at second. Not able to get all the way away from the third baseline. And Saunders, Cruz was bouncing around out there. Jones on that backswing came down and got Robinson Chirinos on that left elbow, his glove hand. The topper foul, and Joe Saunders now the advantage in the count at 0-2.
Yeah, Joe's got good stuff tonight. Might not have pinpoint command of it, but when you get ahead of a left-hand hitter here, 0-2, and you've got the arsenal of a breaking ball and a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, you are in command right here. You need to make the pitch to get out of the inning right here.
Saunders back to the plate. Didn't get Davis to offer at that pitch. A little bit too far outside. And 1-2 the count. Chris with 7 home runs, 25 RBI. He is in a little bit of a downturn offensively right now and has not had much success against Saunders in his career, just a 167 average. Jammed him a little bit out to Rougned Odor, up with it on to first, and that'll do it. The Orioles get a walk and a base hit, but Strand two after a half inning. It's Baltimore 0. Texas coming up. For the Orioles, and we'll take a look at the Rangers lineup that he will face here tonight, brought to you tonight by Southwest Airlines. Ron Washington has Shin-Soo Choo in the order, but he's going to DH tonight. He's leading off. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, is next. Then Mitch Moreland. Adrian Beltre bats cleanup. The right fielder is Alex Rios. Michael Choice the start in left field. Leonis Martin plays center field and hits seventh. Robinson Chirinos is catching, and Rougned Odor is the second baseman batting ninth.
And our Sonic scouting report for Ubaldo Jimenez. Tall right-hand pitcher, starting pitcher for the Orioles. He's 2-6 and 11 starts this season. He was terrible in April, 6.59 ERA. Much better in May, 2-2 with a nice ERA. Opponents with men in scoring position haven't fared very well with him. And he's a tough guy to gauge. You catch him on the wrong night for him, and you can score a lot of runs against him. But you catch him when he's on, and he can shut you down in a hurry. He's got good stuff, just a little bit inconsistent with it. Rangers saw him with his best stuff last year, late in the season, 8 shutout innings. He only had a couple of hits against him.
Shin-Soo Choo leading off, and count of 1-1 as Jimenez comes back to him and trying to set that pattern inside to Choo, and he's missed there to make it 2-1. Choo at 289, 6 home runs, 18 driven in. Jimenez back to the plate and misses high. It's 3-1.
One of Jimenez's biggest problems is control. He tends to walk a lot of batters. Last year, he ended up this season with the 10th best ERA, the 9th most strikeouts, but the third most walks.
Choo a rip and a miss. It's a full count. Shin-Soo trying to get aboard to start off this Ranger first. Elvis Andrus, who you saw momentarily in your picture, is waiting to be next. Rangers come in a game over 500, 29-28. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4, and Choo eyeballs a close one for the walk.
Over the last month, Buzz, he's eyeballed a lot of close ones, but he hasn't been getting the calls. That's a pitch that's been called a strikeout on him countless times in the last month, so it's nice to see that ball called a ball.
Oriole defense looks like this. Cruz, Jones, and Marquez left, center, and right. Chris Davis at first. Jonathan Shoup is at second. A.J. Hardy the shortstop. And Manny Machado at third with Caleb Joseph catching. A one on, nobody out. Here's Elvis. And a ground ball to the right side. Shoup to second. Hardy turns it. And a double play on the first pitch to Elvis Andrus. Well, that takes care of the leadoff walk on one pitch. The bases are now empty for this one. Gorgeous evening here in Arlington, Globe Life Park, and crowd filing in on this June evening. Rangers just beginning this homestand that'll see 3 with the Orioles, and then 4 with the Tribe from Cleveland, and then finally 2 with the Fish from Miami. Miami coming in. Here's Mitch, a 262 hitter. And Jimenez fires outside for ball 1.
The game he pitched against the Rangers last year for the Indians was July 28th. 8 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and 6 strikeouts in that game.
Moreland going the other way, hits it pretty well. Cruz didn't see it right away. Now he's going back and runs it down right at the edge of the warning track. Well, Nelly had a tough time with that ball going up, but recovered in time for the out. Nothing going for the Rangers after 1, no score. back at home to be able to come out to the ballpark and cheer a little bit. Young and old alike having a good time out here at Globe Life Park as the Orioles come to bat here in the top of the second inning. A scoreless ball game. J.J. Hardy, power hitting shortstop up there, and he takes high and away for ball one. Hardy off to a good start average-wise at .306, but he is without a home run.
Yeah, that's the statistical oddity of the year for me.
Sure is.
It's a guy that's had at least 20 home runs the last 3 years. The only shortstop in baseball to do that. And 2 months into the year, he doesn't have a home run. That's a power outage.
That it is. 2-0 pitch from Saunders. And now 3-0 as Joe missed low and inside. So Hardy leading off the Orioles second. He'll be followed by the designated hitter, Delmon Young. 3-0 pitch is a belt high strike. Hardy, 14 RBI this year. In the last 3 games, though, he started to get things heated up pretty well for himself at .455. And he pops one up on the right side. Moreland and Odor. It's Rougned Odor near the foul line. Makes the catch for out number 1. Now Delmon Young coming to the plate, and we are going to welcome in Jim Knox to the program. Jim?
All right, Buzz, appreciate it, and welcome home, guys. We got a group from North Dakota here to see the Rangers. Good to have you on hand here in Community Corner this evening, talking about spending Labor Day with the Texas Rangers. It's the Medical Center Arlington Labor Day race, September 1st, Monday, and the 5K finishes right on the turf right here at Globe Life Park. To find out more information and take part in this Labor Day race, log on to TexasRangers.com. Buzz?
All right, Jim, thank you. Now, Delmon Young, the veteran right-handed hitter up there, DHing tonight for Buck Showalter's team. 0-1 pitch from Saunders, and that is just off the outside corner. Delmon Young, pretty good success against the Ranger left-hander Joe Saunders. That pitch up and in. You know, we talked about Saunders not having been defeated by the Baltimore Orioles 7-0, and he went through a streak in this ballpark where he couldn't win. Against the Rangers, and the line drive to right, that's playable for Alex Rios, but Saunders lost his first 6 decisions here before finally figuring out what he could do to get a W against the Rangers. And then he got one in that extra game in 2012, the wild card game.
Yeah, his timing was pretty good. If he was going to win one game, he picked the right one to win. That was a game, Buzz. I think you felt pretty good as a Ranger fan going into that game with him on the mound, to be honest with you. The way the Rangers, you know, the offense they had and the success that they'd had against him. But he stepped up, pitched a great game that day.
Here's Jonathan Shoup, the second baseman, and Saunders gets ahead with a knee-high strike. Joe to the wind. And misses inside. Shoup, a .226 hitter with 5 home runs and 17 driven in. He's had some pretty good production from being down in the order for Buck Showalter's club. Now 2-1.
One of the rare players who goes to bat without a batting glove on. Don't see that much anymore.
And that pitch just missed. It's 3 balls and a strike. So Saunders kind of shaking his head. Didn't believe that was too low. And our steel pitch tracker would kind of concur with what Joe was feeling. Foul back and fills the count out. So Shoup trying to extend this second inning for the Orioles. He'll be followed by Caleb Joseph, the young catcher. Saunders reading the signs. And the left-hander back with the payoff pitch. Tapped out to second very slowly. Nice play by Odor across his body. That is out number 3. Well, 3 up, 3 down, 1.5 in the books, no score. And Adrian Beltre will start things off for your Rangers when they come up in the bottom of the second. have a chance to have it shown on one of our upcoming broadcasts. And all that's thanks to the good folks at AT&T. Simply use hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and your photo might be selected to be aired during the season. We will have a photo each night here on Fox Sports Southwest, and it'll be a different one, and hopefully you can get yours in there. Adrian Beltre leading off the Rangers second, and Ubaldo Jimenez comes in with strike one. Beltre at .291, 5 home runs, 20 driven in, and he has really had a lot of success against Jimenez. You can see that. Oh, look out, Adrian. Pitch coming up and in, and Beltre trying to get out of the way, fouled it off. That bat staying in the area a little too long. And it's 0-2.
That's one you hope you don't make solid contact with that, because it's going to be a little blooper toward the pitcher, and that's about it.
0-2 pitch. He's shot foul on the first base side. We'll come back and try it again. Adrian, one of the Rangers, had a very good road trip. Hit .349 on the just completed 11-game trip. Out to second base, and Shoop up with it. On to first. Beltre retired, one away for Alex Rios.
Buzz, we have a former Major League star at the ballpark tonight. Jim Gentile, 80 years old today, celebrating his birthday at the ballpark. He was a tremendous Oriole power hitter back in the early 60s and mid-60s, a 3-time All-Star. 1961, he had 46 home runs and knocked in 141 runs. Had another year where he had 33 home runs, knocked in 98 runs in another year. He was a terrific player for the Orioles. Glad to have Jim at the ballpark tonight.
Gentleman Jim Den.
There you go.
Yep.
Big left-handed power hitter, if I remember right.
Yeah.
He could hit him a long way.
Pitch low and outside to Alex Rios. Yeah, he was the one that came in just before Boog Powell was there. They had guys playing first base that were large and hit the ball a long way.
Yep, the infield didn't play in when those guys were at that.
These guys could move the ball out of any ballpark. 2-1. No, folks, that is not one of our cameras. Ours are on tripods usually, or some kind of stand. And a line drive to right. Falling in a hurry, Markakis to the turf is able to corral it for the out. Well, Markakis looked like he was going to stop and start again, and made a nice sliding catch to rob Alex Rios.
I think he thought the same thing we were thinking, Buzz. There's a line drive base hit to right field. But he hit it so hard, it just kept carrying, and finally Markakis said, hey, I can charge that ball and make a nice catch, which he did. And just another nice, smooth swing by Alex Rios, a solidly hit ball. Has a base hit taken away from him right there.
No, 2 away now. Michael Choice steps in. And takes strike one from Jimenez. Michael Choice getting a pretty good opportunity with the injury to Shin-Soo Choo, the ankle injury that's kept Choo from playing every day in the outfield. It's given Michael an opportunity to get some reps in the outfield and also the DH spot. And he has responded very nicely. He's driven in 19 runs. 208 average with 3 home runs. Hit just below 260 on the just completed road trip. That pitch just out off the outer edge. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, at the beginning of the season, he was the kind of guy, as a young player, you wondered if he would get enough at bats to stay sharp for an entire major league season. Rangers have Martin in center, Choo, and Rios. You wonder where the playing time was going to come from. But I think the Ranger 4th outfielder has always been in that position, and 1/3 of the way through the season, thereabouts, 120 at bats. So he's looking at between 300 and 400 at bats if he continues to get a similar amount of playing time. So he's getting plenty of playing time, getting a great indoctrination, good experience at the major league level. Had nothing to prove in AAA. Well, this is where he should be. And he's getting a chance to prove himself.
Payoff pitch. Inside, he draws the walk. Joyce fell behind 0-2 and worked Ubaldo Jimenez for the walk. His second free pass of the night for Jimenez. 1 on, 2 out for Leonis Martin.
Well, Jimenez in 2010 with Colorado was 19-8 with a 2.88 ERA. Got traded to Cleveland, and First couple of years in Cleveland didn't go very well. He was 15-26 with an ERA in the upper 4s. And then he put it together last year. Had a nice comeback, especially in the second half of the year. Second half of the year, he had a 1.82 ERA. His last 13 starts, he never gave up more than 3 earned runs. He's trying to regain that same form that he had in the second half of the 2013 season.
Jimenez driving Choice back with a toss. Well, there's no doubt that Jimenez has had the ability. You mentioned that 2010 season. He was third in the Cy Young voting in the National League that year. Also had a no-hitter and started the All-Star game. A rip and a miss by Leonis. It's 0-2.
Now, there was a time in his career, probably that was one of the years, where his fastball, got into the mid-90s. He was really a hard-throwing guy. And last year in July, when he pitched against the Rangers, he had pretty good life on his fastball, pretty good velocity. Not showing the same velocity in this particular game yet.
That's out of play down the left side, and we'll come back and try it again.
Oh, he popped that fastball at 92 miles an hour.
Jimenez a long, tall drink of water, as you can tell by our shot from center field. 6'5", and he's listed at 210. Must have heavy feet because he doesn't look like he's that broad. Low and inside to Martin, and the count goes to 1-2. Martin, I should say, Jimenez from the Dominican Republic, from Santo Domingo. One and two to Martin with Choice at first base. And he will draw a throw. Might have seen on that overhead shot the Orioles in a pretty good shift against Leonis Martin. I don't think we've seen another team shift on Martin like this. They're playing him like a dead pull hitter on the infield. Outfield pretty much straight away. That's outside, 2-2. We've usually seen that reserved for, well, when Prince Fielder was healthy, or Mitch Moreland now.
One thing they can't do, Buzz, is they can't play too deep in right field with Martin like they do some of the other guys.
Right.
He could beat out a ground ball the way they play David Ortiz and Prince and a lot of the left-handed power hitters.
Jimenez with a 2-2 pitch, and that's low. So 2 batters in a row now. Ubaldo Jimenez has gotten ahead 0-2, and he has gone to 3-2. Lightning Martin. Now Joseph going to go out and have a chat with Jimenez. That'd be a little frustrating for not only the pitcher, but for the catcher, too. You get ahead 0-2 and figure out, okay, we're going to put this guy away, and next thing you're staring at's a 3-2 pitch. Doesn't do much for the manager's disposition either. Jimenez ready. The payoff pitch on the way is high, ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out walks. Runners in scoring position for Robinson Chirinos.
The double play obviously helped Jimenez in the first inning. It certainly helped his pitch count. He's walked 3 out of the first 7 batters, but he's only thrown 30 pitches. And depending on what happens the rest of the inning, he gets a quick out right here. His pitch count for 2 innings is pretty good, really. It's decent. And he will have walked at least 3 guys.
Yeah, let's see if Chirinos can make him pay for those 2 walks. Robinson, a .219 hitter. And he was looking for a fastball, didn't get it. And it's 0-1. Chirinos, he had .294 on the road trip. He's hit safely in 3 of the last 4 games at a .357 clip. Just missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chirinos making his 32nd start of the year behind the plate. The ball club 17-14 in the first 31 starts that he's had. It's tap foul at the plate, and the count goes to 1-2. Chirinos trying to pick up at least Michael Choice, who's at second base. And hopefully both Choice and Leonis Martin, who's trailing him at first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Got him swinging. A pretty lively fastball up, and Chirinos couldn't catch up with it. Rangers get a pair of walks with Strange. We're going to the third. Still no score. With MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. You get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and a whole lot more. Download it at the App Store, or you can visit TexasRangers.com today. Orioles come to bat here in the top of the third inning. Caleb Joseph, the catcher, and number 9 hitter will start things off. Scoreless game. Orioles with the only hit of the contest thus far as Joseph takes strike 1. Caleb Joseph hitting just .069, but since Matt Wieters had to go on the disabled list with that elbow problem, Orioles kind of scuffling around for an everyday catcher. Joseph called up to spell Nick Hundley. Looks at a strike here. It's now 1-2.
Yeah, all teams, Buzz, are suffering through the injury problem, but Wieters was a huge blow. He was an all-star player, great guy behind the plate, having one of his best offensive years too. He's hitting over 300, putting it all together. A rock behind the plate, big, strong, solid defensive guy.
2-2 pitch, got him swinging, down and in, and Joe Saunders gets his first punch out. 1 away, and he has retired now 5 straight. Back to the top of the order for Nick Markakis.
Right fielder Nick Markakis.
Now, would you call that that little dot that you see? It's kind of a big dot that you see in a slider.
Yeah, that's the
middle?
big dot. Yeah.
Big dot.
Yeah, the smaller dot is when it's a real tight slider.
Tight slider, yeah.
And you get those 2 little seams on the end spinning so fast it looks like a small dot to a hitter. That's what you want to try to avoid if you're a pitcher, is having that small dot in there. But yeah, that's the slider type spin where you see the ball rotating a little more downward. It would be the curveball. Give you that downward action. This is kind of off the side. You see the hand off the side of the ball releasing it. So Saunders gets that side to side spin.
The faster it spins, the more you can see that circular thing.
That's right.
Surrounded by the strings of the ball.
Were you one of those guys who could pick that up?
Not really.
That's going to be trouble. A little looper into left field. Choice coming. You'll have to play it on a hop. And Nick Markakis dumps one in. Texas leaguer into left field for a 1-out single.
You can pick up the spin on a ball, and when you go into a game as a hitter, you know what kind of a breaking ball the pitcher throws, whether it's a curveball or a slider. So I guess there's times when you can pick that up. It's one of the ways you determine what the pitch is going to be, by the spin of the ball. The ones that are actually tough to hit, Buzz, are the ones where you pick up the spin and you anticipate that the ball is going to break like it normally does, but it just spins and doesn't break. You know, the backup slider, right. That's actually a tough pitch to hit. Now, if it backs up like that and it's on the middle of the plate, it's not that tough. But when it's on the inside part of the plate and you're anticipating it's going to break out over the plate and it doesn't, that's actually an effective pitch. It'd be a pretty good pitch if you could throw it on purpose.
I knew of a guy, Mike Hedlund. You may remember.
Yeah, I remember
Kansas
Mike.
City.
Sinker slider guy.
Yeah, but he could
throw the backup one.
But unfortunately, he had nothing else to go along with it, and at that time anyway. But Mike could make that thing back up at will.
That's pretty good if you can do it and throw it in a good location.
0-1 pitch, and Machado takes high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
A lot of times we'll go back and watch the pitch on a long home run, and it might be a breaking ball that just spins and doesn't break. Most of those pitches are out over the plate where the hitter can kind of extend his arms. Not many of them are, a couple inches inside.
Saunders a check of first, and the pitch to Machado hit high in the air to deep center field. Going back, Leonis Martin just steps onto the warning track up against the wall and makes the catch. Markakis back to first. And Leonis had that read pretty well because it looked like he was under control and had the ball under control the whole way. Well, that is out number 2. Nelson Cruz coming up. And before he does, let's go to Rick Renner for a Mazda game break. Rick? All right, Rick, thank you.
Kansas City's a team that's due to get hot and score some runs. They've got too good of a lineup of young players starting to enter their prime to be swinging the bats the way they've swung them for the first 2 months.
This is about, the 3rd or 4th year in a row we've said that, too, about that they're due to put it all together.
Yeah, and a lot of those years it's been the pitching that's let them down. Butler hitting in the 240s. He's a 300 hitter.
Line drive, left center. Here comes Leonis. He slides and makes the catch. Cruz didn't hit it all that hard, but looked like it might fall. Leonis Martin said, that'll do it. No runs, a hit, 1 left for the Orioles. After 2.5, no score in Arlington. Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Now, over our shoulders, our vantage point up here right behind home plate. At least I can see the players know who they are here. Good bunt by Odor. The throw is wide down the first base side. And Odor thought about going and
figured it out. That was one of those balls. It never got far enough away to make the break for second base. As it turned out, if he went right away, he could have made it. But it was always close enough to the fielder where he couldn't decide what to do.
Well, the Rangers get their first base hit as Odor drops out a dandy bunt.
He pointed that right toward the end of the bat to deaden it. Jimenez makes a pretty nice play, but not a real good throw. It's going to be a close play, even if it was an accurate throw. Way to get the leadoff hitter on. Odor sure doesn't look like he's, what is he, 20 years old?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he's 20 years old.
No, he plays like he's
he's at least 21 or 22.
Well, he's on base, however old he is. 20 years and just a little bit over 100 days. Shin-Soo Choo drew a walk back in the first.
Haven't been many teams carry a 20-year-old starting second baseman with a 20-year-old utility player.
Oh, Sardina's the old man now. He just turned 21.
Oh, he's 21, okay.
There goes Odor. The ground ball to the right side. Davis a dive, and he will shovel onto Jimenez covering. A nice play by Chris Davis to get the out at first, but Odor now in scoring position with one away as the Rangers tried to hit and run with Choo and Odor.
Wasn't hit hard enough to get it by Davis at first base, but he has to time his dive just right and has to go all out to catch it. And he didn't catch it on a big hop. He caught it on the short hop. A nice pickup by Chris. Very nice finesse feed to Ubaldo Jimenez covering first base.
Chris Davis taking a little time to get his wind back. He might have knocked the wind right out of himself.
He had to go with the all-out dive. And we saw Chris play a good defensive first base when he played there for the Rangers. In fact, saw him play halfway decent at third base as well.
Yeah.
Strong arm.
You know, Elvis Andrus up there now and trying to get the Rangers on the board. First pitch to him is a breaking ball for strike one. Lowe's bringing you the never stop improving statistic. 3 hits in his last 7 at-bats with runners in scoring position. That's after going 1 for his first 30. Now that's improvement. Never stop improving with Lowe's, and Elvis Andrus sure hasn't. And as a result, the Rangers as a team have improved drastically in that runners in scoring position figure. At the time there, they couldn't buy a hit with runners in scoring position. Now they're up there in third in the American League. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Jimenez a check a second. Breaking ball on the outside corner. 1-2. Elvis grounded into a double play. The first pitch he saw from Ubaldo Jimenez tonight. Jimenez broke contact with the rubbers. He stepped off behind our steel pitch tracker, showing you that last breaking ball right on the corner. That's out of play down the right side. The way that Jimenez is throwing tonight, it shows me something. I didn't realize he had the ability to pitch the way he's doing now. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of off-speed pitches. Must not feel very good about his fastball, or he's doing it on purpose to save his fastball for next time around.
He's thrown a lot of fastballs, 89, 90, but occasionally he's popped one at 92 miles an hour.
Check swing, the pitch inside. The appeal down to first, and Jim Reynolds says, nope, no swing. 2-2. A couple of times we've seen him, it's almost been 100% effort on most of the pitches he threw, and you don't see that tonight. Looks a little more under control.
Yeah.
Ground ball pulled into the hole. Backhanded by Hardy. Throw on a bounce is in time. They get Elvis at first, and we are going to have Ron Washington headed out to first base. Jim Reynolds, the umpire, making a call on a very close play at first. Naked eye, maybe not the correct call, but that's from up here.
Yeah, I thought he missed it. Let's see.
Yep, he did.
Let's see. Yeah, I think he got him.
Yep.
Thought he got him by a hair.
Well, Ron Washington will get the word from Tim Bogar, his bench coach. You don't need a challenge, and Wash, as he does with the umpires, after he finds that out.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you. That was a good call. You were right.
Well, one thing you saw there is a Gold Glove shortstop, J.J. Hardy, make a beautiful play in the hole. Hardy has won a Gold Glove 2 times for the Orioles, including last year. Really quick delivery, a strong throw.
Yeah, we talk about Beltran and Andrus for the Rangers on the left side. Machado and Hardy, they are
pretty good too.
They are outstanding. Here's Mitch Moreland, who takes outside for ball 1. Mitch hit a long fly ball to left field, sent Nelson Cruz back to the warning track in the first inning to haul it down. Rougned Odor, the runner at second base, still there now with 2 outs. Jimenez to the plate. And Mitch trying to take that the other way. And fouled it off. Well, we've seen Mitch do this in a run-producing situation and against a shift like this. And there's how the shift is set up. He'll try and take that ball to the normal shortstop hole. Now, J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, is going to move over on the third base side of second instead of being in such an extreme overshift. 1-2. In case you folks that are keeping tabs on statistics too, by the way, Mitch had an RBI taken away. The scoring decision was reversed. He had an RBI in Detroit that they had ruled a hit for him, and it was turned into an error by the folks in New York and took the RBI away. So 21 is the RBI total for Mitch. Had been 22. 1-2 the count. Jimenez. A check of second. Now 2-2. Moreland, a 5-game hitting streak, but he's had just 1 hit in each of those 5 games. Inside corner, call strike 3, and Mitch knew it. Drops the bat, takes the shin guard off, and he will head back out to first base. No runs a hit, and 1 left. After 3, still scoreless.
up. Little leaguers and also softball organizations. Karen Morris here at the Texas Rangers, here to talk about the Globe Life Texas Rangers Grant Program. What's this all about?
That's right, Jim. The Globe Life Texas Rangers Baseball and Softball Grant Program is open to all organizations that provide opportunities for baseball and softball in the Rangers' 5-state territory. The grants are to help with field renovations, extra construction, new projects, uniforms, equipment, or even coaching and training. The grant applications are due June 30th, so the deadline's coming up, and you can find the application at texasrangers.com/foundation. But it's a way that the Rangers and Globe Life are giving back to support youth baseball and youth softball across our 5-state territory.
There you go. So texasrangers.com/foundation. Foundation. Okay. Appreciate it, Karen. Good seeing you. Nice outfit there, huh? Yep.
Good job, Noxie. The fashion police getting on folks. That's good. Middle of the Baltimore order facing Joe Saunders here in the 4th inning. Adam Jones takes the pitch inside. It's now 2-1. Jones had a base hit to left field his first time up. That came on a 3-1 pitch. He's gotten into another hitter's count here leading off the 4th. Jones, Davis, and Hardy, the first 3 to face Joe Saunders. Chopper foul. Count evens now at 2-2.
He had the same setup, the same anticipation, and the same swing that he did when he ripped that 3-1 pitch into left field for a base hit. But Joe threw him a little bit of a sinker out of the strike zone, and obviously there wasn't much he could do with that pitch.
Those pitchers always messing with you.
Yeah, they just wouldn't give him the same pitch to hit that time. Probably a good thing, too.
Yeah.
Seen it once, and he was ready for it again.
Now the 2-2 to right field. That is sliced deep down the line and right. It's off the foul pole, a home run. Well, it looked like that was going to slice back into the seats, and instead, Adam Jones with his 7th home run of the year, a bullet off the foul pole, and the Orioles lead 1-0.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see kind of a fluky home run go into the little triangle down there, a little blooper almost that just slices into the triangle. That thing was a rope, though. He reached out for an outside pitch. A little bit up, borderline strike, and just kind of shoots a line shot that didn't hit the bottom of the foul pole, hit it about 15 feet up.
Now Chris Davis tops one foul. It is 0-1.
A little bit of an unusual home run. You don't see a right-hand hitter hit a ball there very often, but definitely not a cheap home run. He reached out and hit a hard line drive. If it didn't hit the pole, it would have gone about 375 feet.
Chris Davis fouling one off to the left, and it's 0-2. So Adam Jones gets the Orioles in front. Orioles now with 57 home runs as a team. Jones with 7. Chris Davis at the plate has 7. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Chris had his second 3-home run game of his career. What a year he had last year.
Oh, man.
Thought he kind of came into his own and had a breakout year in 2012 when he hit 30 and knocked in 85. He took it to a different level last year.
And Saunders worked him over pretty well, and Davis on strikes here, 1 away. And we'll bring up J.J. Hardy.
Chris is being pitched very tough tonight by Joe Saunders. He's pounding him in with a fastball, kind of tying him up, and then finished him off with a very good breaking ball down and away. Good combination of pitches right there by Joe.
Hardy popped out to second in the second. Last pitch to Chris Davis.
Kind of had him set up for that with some fastballs in, and then threw that slider down and away.
And a base hit to right. Hardy going the other way, just like Adam Jones did. He kept this one in the park. But he is aboard is J.J. Hardy with a 1-out single. And before Delman Young steps in, let's go down to Emily Jones once again. Em.
Well, guys, as you well know, a highly successful road trip, going 7-4 during a stretch where a lot of question marks surrounding this team. Ron Washington talked about the fact that he really started to see guys come together, and that there has been such turnover within the clubhouse that's a difficult thing to do on a regular basis, and he saw a lot of that on this road trip. Hopefully can continue, of course, here at home. But, you know, since that players-only closed-door meeting that they had back on May 18th, this team has 9-5, including that successful road trip they just came back off of.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, a lot of things during the course of a season that turn things hopefully positive for the Rangers, and that was probably one of them, one of the significant ones. Coming up on that road trip, it could have been, had they played the same way going out on the road that they had been at home, which was kind of inconsistent, it would have been a very long road trip.
Yeah. Well, you can look at that road trip, Buzz, as a 7-4 road trip that the 2 World Series teams that the Rangers had, if they went on that same trip, they would hope to be 7-4 too.
Yeah.
So it's a good road trip. No matter what kind of team you're featuring, 20 games over or a 500 team. Go in those 3 cities and come back 7-4 is pretty nice.
Yeah, especially starting in Detroit. The Rangers have played well there the last couple of years, but boy, that has been a house of horrors too for them at times.
Sometimes you look at the Tiger team and you see their starting pitching, and you look at their lineup and you wonder why they're only 9 games over 500.
Right.
They look better than that on paper.
Inside DeYoung, it's now 2-2. Yeah, and you wouldn't. I don't think anybody could have predicted the ball club. The Rangers would go in there and score, 42 runs or 43 runs in the 4 games.
No. One of those statistical, I won't call it a fluke, but based on the way that they've played this year, you definitely didn't expect them to go in there against that pitching staff and do that.
3-2 to Delmon Young with Hardy at first and 1 out. Buck Showalter turns J.J. Hardy loose on this 3-2 pitch. Saunders will check him. Not going anywhere, and Young lines one to right. On comes Rios and makes the catch cap high. The throw back to first. Fortunately, he's backed up. Robinson Chirino.
That saved a couple of bases right there. Backing up that throw. We've seen several balls today hit to right field just like that. Well hit line drives that look like a base hit off the bat, but they're hit so well that they carry all the way to the outfielder. Delmon Young really put a charge in this ball. An outside pitch, he drives it to right field, but Alex is right there. Tries to double up the runner, but almost put him into scoring position.
Good job by Chirinos to back that up and make sure that J.J. Hardy wouldn't be awarded any extra bases. So 2 outs. Here's Jonathan Shoup, who grounded out to his counterpart, Rougned Odor, the first time up. Pitch is a little bit low. You understand the correct pronunciation is Jonathan Scoop. Apologies to the Scoop family. 1-0 pitch. It's a bit low. 2-0. Joe Saunders reading the signs from Chirinos. Left-hander sets. Hardy a very modest lead at first. And a fly ball toward right center field. On his horse is Rios. He can't get it. It's against the wall. Being waved around third is Hardy. Here comes a relay throw. Now they put the brakes on. And it's a good thing because Odor fired a bullet into home. Hardy would have been out from here to Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
Put the brakes on late and is able to stay there.
It actually was. It was a very good call by the third base coach. Bobby Dickerson, I think, at third base. Because on that ball with 2 outs, generally you see a double hit in the gap like that with a man on first base. The third base coach is going to try to score him. But he's trying to score him, but he holds him up. And as it turns out, you're right, Buzz, it was a good thing because that throw was right on the money at home plate. Only question would be, would it short hop the catcher? But third base coach doesn't know that when he makes his call.
Well, second and third now with 2 outs. Caleb Joseph, the catcher, takes high and away for ball 1. Joseph, a strikeout in the 3rd inning. Joseph called up from AAA Norfolk on the 7th of May. Up there in a position where he can do some damage to the Rangers. He takes a little bit low. It is 2-0. Chirinos might have been saying something to Manny Gonzalez, the home plate umpire. Held on to that ball a long time as if to say, where's that pitch? And Steel pitch tracker would not answer that question for you very well. Fly ball to right. This one playable. Alex Rios drifting over to his right. Back a few steps, makes the catch, and that'll do it. Adam Jones does the damage in the fourth. A leadoff home run. Orioles strand a couple more. Bottom of the fourth coming up. 1-0 Baltimore. On Chevy Hometown Kids every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, right here on Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. Kids having a little game of gotcha. Good. And apologies again to the Scope family. We're going to get this correct. It's Jonathan Scope, we understand. So, again, sorry about that.
Hey, all these years we've been pronouncing school wrong. Should have been Skoll, right?
That's the
same thing. S-C-H-O-O-L, S-C-H-O-O-P. Skoll.
If you're in Norway, I think it's the middle third of the Ranger order. Beltre a drive, high and deep to left field. Cruises back at the wall. Goodbye. Beltre provides the answer. His 6th home run of the year, and we are back dead even. It's one apiece.
Well, Jimenez started him off with a slider out over the plate, and Adrian just reached for it and yanked it 380 feet to left field and out of the ballpark. He got the good part of the bat on it, then drove it right on out of there. Going to keep his helmet on so they don't do that to him. I'm waiting for him to turn around and punch somebody.
Well, it's going to be Elvis if it's anybody, because he's the one that's always taking his helmet off. 376 feet. You're 4 feet off, huh?
4 feet off? Okay.
Yeah. 376.
376. Well, that was a nice piece of hitting. It's a slider out over the plate. He reaches out for it, gets the sweet part of the bat on it. Catcher's watching it. I love that picture. The catcher watching the home run.
And J.J. Hardy on the overshift, able to take that line drive away from Alex Rios. Adrian Beltre, a half dozen home runs. He ties Shin-Soo Choo for the team leadership. Adrian also now 21 RBI.
It seems like there is kind of a pecking order for being able to touch him in the head.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anybody to do it, but it's probably not a good idea for a rookie that's been here for about a week to touch his head after a home run.
Probably not.
Like, I wouldn't say Daniel Robertson should jump up and touch him on the head. Now, Elvis kind of barely gets away with it. And we laugh about it, but you just watch Adrian's face, and he puts up with it because he has to, but he does not want you to touch his head. He's not laughing when he turns around. You see a lot of guys there congratulating him, but a lot of them are smart enough not to touch him in the head. He looks around and sees a rookie instead of Elvis. He might want to duck.
Elvis
And
looking
if
at
Elvis
him
all of a sudden now started to touch him in the top of the head, he probably would get punched.
yeah, there'd be a problem here. Michael Joyce just able to get a piece of that. And
I'm not sure if Rubned can touch him in the head yet. I want to see what happens if he does.
no, I don't know if we want to see that or not. Adrian cooling off a little bit. 1-2 pitch to Joyce. And that is called strike 3. And Michael Joyce got rung up on a pitch that he thought was outside, but Jimenez gets the call. 3 strikeouts for the Orioles right-hander. Oh, 2 gone. Leonis Martin now will step in. Martin drew a walk his first time up there. Off speed, and that finds the outer corner. 0-1. Leonis, of course, on Sunday had that go-ahead home run against the Nationals. That broke a 6-game homerless streak for the Rangers. 0-2 the count here. Way inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And again, the Orioles going into a pretty good overshift with Leonis Martin at the plate. And Manny Machado, the only one on the left side of the infield. 2-2 now. For the most part, the Rangers doing a pretty good job of when they fall behind, making it tough on Jimenez. Ground ball speared by the big right hand, who will fire on to first, and that'll do it. But Adrian Beltre gets the Rangers back even. His 6th home run of the year, leading off the 4th inning. Adrian going deep against Ubaldo Jimenez. We'll go to the 5th. Rangers 1, Orioles 1. Stop Love. Just go to southwest.com/RangersLove to enter to win round trip tickets. Now we move to the top of the 5th inning, and as always, joining us for the 5th, Mark McLemore. Nice to see you again, Mac. It's been a while.
I know, long time no see. This is the guy we haven't seen right here.
Yeah.
Brushing up on his golf game, got the tan working.
Yeah, you know, it's looking forward to my next off day. Got to check the schedule.
Oh.
I have had a lot of people come up and say, "Are you okay?" Wondering exactly why I missed the time. They just don't want to seem to accept the explanation that I'm old and I took a little vacation. They think there's got to be more to it than that.
I'll tell you, I got so many tweets while on the road. Where's Tom? I haven't heard anything. I said, he's vacationing.
They just don't want to accept that. There's got to be more to it than that.
Something. He'll be there when we get back. Trust me.
I said to one man, I'm on vacation, and he said, "Well, yeah. I heard Mark McLemore say that, but I'm not really buying it." I said, "What? You don't trust Mark McLemore?" He said, "Well, I don't know him." Well, he's a good guy. Trust him. He's telling you the truth.
Markakis thrown out a nice play by Rougned Odor, and Saunders with the first out here in the 5th inning. Now we'll face Manny Machado. Mac, I know the game that you and I saw Saunders throw in Minnesota, his first time out, coming off the DL. This looks like he has the same kind of stuff, but better command even than from that game.
Yes, he does. He's hitting his spots, and that's huge. You know, he's not a guy that's going to overpower you, so he's going to rely. He has to rely on hitting that location. He doesn't hit that location, there could be some problems, especially with this this Orioles lineup. Very potent lineup, but tonight he's doing a great job again.
1 ball and 1 strike to Machado. I've got to think it's very much like a hitter, that the more reps you get, the more pitches you see, the more times you get out there, the more automatic it becomes, your approach.
You hope that's the case.
Yes, right.
That's the way you want it to be. And you know, and you know, for pitchers it's that way. And hitters, the more at bats you get to see, the more comfortable you are. You just feel better. You can build that confidence up. And, you know, it's all about timing. You know, pitcher's trying to disrupt that hitter's timing, and when that hitter can get as many at-bats as he possibly can, it's going to help his timing.
Right center field, ball carrying pretty well. Leonis Martin able to cut it off in the alley for out number 2. Machado hard out. Now the base is empty for Nelson Cruz.
A lot of well-hit balls to right center field and right field that have been caught today. Still kind of a mixed review for Nelly, but for the most part, the cheers seem to outweigh the negative aspect of it.
Now, if he were hitting a $114 instead of $314, it might be more appreciative of him coming back. You see him hitting the way he's hitting. You hate to see him in the other uniform. Ranger fans remember that when Cruz gets hot, he can stay hot for a while and do a lot of damage, which he has done so far for the Orioles. He grounds one to the right side. Nice play by Odor, very aggressive play. And the young man throws out Cruz, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. Nice to have you back, Mac. The doctor of defense gets it done. 3 up, 3 down. We're halfway through the ball game, tied at 1. Michael Choice. It's Thursday at the Grand Prairie location on South Carrier Parkway. Don't miss this chance to win great prizes and to meet one of your Texas Rangers at Whataburger. That'll be Michael Choice, 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. on Thursday. Rangers come to bat. Robinson Chirinos bluffing a bunt against Ubaldo Jimenez, and the first pitch inside to him for ball one. Chirinos a strikeout back in the second inning. And Jimenez comes back with a fastball right down the middle. 1-1 to Chirinos. Jimenez has given up a run that came on Adrian Beltre's leadoff home run in the fourth inning. That pitch all the way to the backstop. 2-1 the count. Chirinos with hits in 3 of his last 4 ball games at a .357 clip. We've seen his batting average go from just below 200 to its current .217 mark. Out of play to the right, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chirinos a drive to left field. Cruz going back. It is over his head off the wall on a hop. And Robinson Chirinos into second base with a leadoff double. Boy, that is a strong man to be able just to reach out and almost one-hand that ball.
That was the carbon copy of the ball and the swing that Adrian had for the home run. Might have been a little bit farther away from Robinson. The slider that he reaches out for. Pretty much the exact same pitch and almost the same swing. Is a little bit more out in front of it than Adrian was. Adrian got the good part of the bat on the ball. Robinson a little bit toward the end of the bat, but hit it well enough to get it over Nelly's head in left field for a double. Good start to the 5th inning.
Now Oudet Odor is around to bunt and pulls the bat back. It is 1-0. Odor had the bunt single to lead off the Ranger 3rd inning. Oudet now with a batting average of .293, and he's not thinking about bunting for a base hit here. He's going to try to get Chirinos over to third any way he possibly can. Gets the bunt down. It's a good one. Machado bare hands, throws, and just does get him. You have to put Odor in the same category as we do with Leonis Martin, that a normal sacrifice bunt is by no means a sure out.
No, not at all. It's a tremendous bunt. The bunt for the base hit that he had a couple innings ago was tremendous. This one here, this almost looked like a bunt for a base hit. The placement that he had on it, and Machado, if he didn't have that cannon on that hanging off that right shoulder, he would have been safe at first with another hit. But this is a great play. Comes up, bare hands it, and fortunately plants and makes a nice throw.
One thing, Mac, I think you hope for when young players get called up to the big leagues is that they're ready to play at that level and perform and do the things that a manager needs for them to do. And you don't always see that, even with veteran players, but it sure looks like Odor can bunt and get that bunt down.
He looks fundamentally sound. That's a phrase that we don't hear much of anymore, but he looks fundamentally sound, being able to bunt to third base, up the first base line, bunt for a base hit, move runners over, sacrifice fly with runners on third, less than 2 outs. He looks pretty good.
He looked like on both of those bunts that he kind of choked down on the bat and tried to bunt it toward the end of the bat to deaden it. Is that what he was trying to do?
That's exactly what he was trying to do. And, you know, if you watch, I looked on the slow motion replays, and his eyes are following the ball all the way to the bat. And usually when a hitter's trying to bunt, he'll take his eyes off of it. But Odor on the base hit bunt and then the sac bunt, his eyes followed that ball all the way to the bat.
Pitch outside. It's 2-1 now to Shin-Soo Choo. Infield in front of halfway, and Robinson Chirinos not the most fleet of foot, so Orioles not playing all the way in. I figure that a hard hit ground ball to the middle of the infield, they still might have a shot if Chirinos tries to score. Shin-Soo trying to drive the ball to the outfield. The 2-1 pitch. That is in the dirt. It's 3 balls and a strike. That is trying not to give anything to Choo that he can lift in the air. Choo the #1 hitter, to be followed by the Rangers shortstop. That's Elvis Andrus. Rangers trying to capitalize on that leadoff double by Robinson Chirinos and the sacrifice bunt by Rougned Odor. Jimenez to the plate. And he gets the outside corner. 3-2 now.
A pretty good 3-1 pitch. One of those backdoor sliders that just did catch the outside corner.
There's Chevy tracker showing you how that pitch tracked. Payoff pitch on the way. Got him swinging. Chu couldn't go up the ladder and get on top of that fastball, and that is out number 2. Time for a Mazda game break before Elvis comes up. Here's Rick Renner. All right, Rick, thank you. It's 1-1 here in the 5th inning also. Elvis trying to untie the ball game. He's going to take him a base hit if he's to bring Chirinos home here with 2 outs in the 5th. Elvis 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded out twice, once into a double play. 1-1 on the foul ball.
Elvis going to have to go retrieve that one by himself.
No help whatsoever.
No help from the hired help.
Wow. Bad boys are sleeping.
Kid says, I'm not running on the other side of the field. That's not on my side.
Well, Elvis retrieving his bat over there. Now he's back in, ready to go. Jimenez okays the sign. And misses high. 2-1. Elvis, a .255 hitter. Trying to get Chirinos in from third. 3 balls and a strike. Take a look at the Ford leaderboard. Batting average this year, Rangers second behind the Detroit Tigers. Tigers now all the way down to .269. They kind of hit the skids. Orioles fourth at .264. And like a slider came in knee high. It is 3-2.
Same thing he did with Chu. Something other than a fastball on a 3-1 pitch.
Jimenez with a payoff pitch. And Elvis able to foul it off. We'll try it again. Jimenez refusing to give in to him.
Yeah, this guy's got to be tough to hit off of. You know, he's got long arms, long legs, and they're just going everywhere. He's coming, coming to the plate.
Do you swing at the kneecaps? Do you swing at the elbows? What do you swing at? Shoulders? Wow. Another 3-2. Down the right field line. It is slicing into the corner. It is foul. Elvis about 3/4 of the way down, but you could tell by the way he kept his bat in his hand that it was going to probably be a foul ball. Although I kind of felt the same way on that ball that Adam Jones hit off the foul pole.
I think Adam thought the same thing. He kind of stood there for a second. But as a hitter, you really don't like seeing that. You know, you hit the ball down the line and, you're thinking, man, that's going to be a double, maybe a triple. And then you see it start to tail. And that's when you start talking to it.
Now Jimenez will again unload a 3-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Well, a pretty good job by Jimenez. Back-to-back strikeouts with Chirinos at third. Rangers can't do anything. They strand a runner. Mac, thanks for joining us. We'll look for you after the ball game on Rangers Live. All right. 1-1 the score. Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. A beautiful night out here at Globe Life Park. Ranger fans enjoying a well-pitched, well-played ball game this evening. 1-1 the score. Rangers just missed a golden opportunity to take the lead. A lead-off double and got Robinson Chirinos to third with one out, but could not bring him home. And now Joe Saunders back to the hill. He'll face Adam Jones to start off the top of the 6th inning. Jones 2 for 2 tonight. Had a solo home run, accounting for the only Baltimore run this evening. That was back in the 4th inning. His average now at 289. As Saunders deals to him, and a fastball line to left. He is 3 for 3. As Jones picking on that first pitch is aboard to start off the Baltimore 6th.
Well, he's swinging a good bat tonight. Some pitches that he can handle too. Second ball, he's ripped into left field. Joe went away the last time up. He drove it right down the right field line for a home run. The guy, again, 33 home runs and knocked in 108 runs last year. So not a surprise to see him swinging the bat.
Yeah, I don't. This is not just an accident.
No.
Now Chris Davis up there. Davis struck out his last time. Chris, 0 for 2 evening so far. He has been scuffling a bit, as we mentioned, of late.
Well, Joe's pitched him well tonight. Fastballs in, which it looks like he's going to try to throw right here. And a couple of breaking balls away. It really had him tied up tonight. Chris led the major leagues last year. 138 RBIs. Go along with 53 home runs and 42 doubles.
You know, he talked about Baltimore, the players they've had over the years. You saw Jim Gentile here tonight, and there's Boog Powell and Frank Robinson and folks like that that really smoked the ball. But Chris Davis set Baltimore records, franchise records last year with the 53 home runs. Forgot Eddie Murray, too. Don't forget Eddie Murray. 96 extra base hits.
Wow.
And 370 total bases. Those are all Oriole franchise records. 1 ball and 1 strike. Saunders ready. A check of Jones, who has good speed at first. A broken back looper. That's going to drop untouched. Adrian Beltre with the shift on, playing over the shortstop hole. And we'll take a look now at 3 things that you really need to know about Chris Davis. Talking about what he did last year, 53 home runs, 138 RBI. How about finish 3rd in the MVP voting? And he pitched 2 innings and got a W. That was against Boston in I believe that was a 16-inning game.
Yeah, it was an extra inning game.
Yeah. Got the
He
win.
had pretty good stuff, too.
Shot foul, still 1-2. Well, the kind of year he had, it's not surprising. He might as well have started the game the way he was going. Good athlete. And Tom, you mentioned when he was here, Chris came up as a third baseman. That was his position. And the Rangers had a need for a first baseman, so they converted him, and he had no problems with that conversion whatsoever.
No.
Another 1-2 pitch. Couldn't get a swing on the slider. It's 2-2.
Well, he had a year in 2011 in AAA where he hit .370, 24 home runs and 66 runs batted in, and less than 200 at bats. So he had a year where he was just as hot. Now that was at AAA, but he duplicated that last year in the big leagues.
Sure did.
A lot of guys have done it in AAA.
High fly ball to left. That's carrying pretty well. Choice back. Still going back. The wind has it. It's high off the wall. And Jones, who was back tagging up at first, only gets to second. So Chris Davis got one up apparently into the wind that's going enough toward left field to get it carrying, because Michael Choice thought he had that under control the whole way.
You know, he's so strong. Last year, when you looked at the replays of some of his home runs, they looked like that. Pitches that he just kind of reached for and launched. That definitely had a little bit of help to go that far, you would think. But it also shows how strong he is, that he can just kind of reach out and flick his bat and drive the ball that far. Saunders can't believe it. The good part about it was Adam Jones just assumed it was an out.
Yeah.
And he was going to tag up and get into scoring position. And so as the ball hit the wall, he only ended up at second base. So that's the good news.
Well, first and second, nobody out. Here's J.J. Hardy. And the pitch is outside for ball one.
That's one of those balls as an outfielder. You see the ball go up that high, and you just assume it's going to be an easy play. And then it just keeps carrying and carrying. And instead of sprinting back to the wall and waiting and jumping, you find yourself drifting. But it's natural to do on a ball like that because it doesn't seem like the ball could possibly carry that far. That may have been too high for Michael, even if he did get to the wall. And I think it probably was. But as an outfielder, on a ball like that, you just find yourself thinking, I can't believe the ball went that far.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. And Saunders a little outside move around to second, and nobody covering. Well, back-to-back singles, Jones and Davis. First and second. Nobody out, the 1-1 pitch. And 2-1 the count. Saunders now up to 90 pitches for the evening as Jason Frazier starts to loosen in that Ranger bullpen. It's a warm night, not a hot night by any stretch of the imagination. Left-hander ready, back to the plate. Check, swing, strike, and it's 2-2. Saunders last time out against the Twins threw 97 pitches in 5 innings. He has thrown as many as 101 pitches in his last rehab outing for AAA. 2-2 pitch is skied to right field. Rios getting himself in position to make a throw. Jones tagging at second. He's going to try to advance to third, and he is in with a slide as Elvis cuts the ball off. Hardy gets the job done, hitting it deep enough to right field to allow Adam Jones to advance 90 feet. Runners at the corners, and Delman Young coming up.
Hey, Jones is tagging all the way on that play. Get a good look at the throw. Wasn't going to have much chance to throw Jones out anyway. Jones runs well. Looking for a ground ball right here.
The Orioles have grounded into 44 double plays this year. That's kind of middle of the pack as far as American League teams are concerned. You could sure use one right here, though, from Delman Young. Young twice is lined to right field tonight. Rangers will play the middle of the infield back. Looking for that double play grounder. Jones at third, Davis at first. And Saunders with the first pitch. Base hit to left field. He got the ground ball, but it went between short and third. And in to score is Jones. And the Orioles take a 2-1 lead on the Delman Young RBI base hit. Well, 3 hits in the inning. Young able to get the ground ball to go through the hole, and he drives in his 7th run of the year.
Yeah, you can see by the slow motion replay, hit it right off the end of the bat. Made a pitch to get a ground ball instead of going right at the shortstop for an inning-ending double play. Found a hole with it.
Orioles now 8 base hits against Joe Saunders. Still just 1 out. And Scope takes the pitch off the outside corner. Looked like a changeup. It is 1-0. Jonathan Scope doubled his last time. He is 1 for 2 tonight. Saunders to the plate. Now 2-0. Schoop with 5 home runs, 17 driven in this year. The 2-0 pitch. There's the double play grounder to Odor, who turns it over. 6-4-3. Just one hitter too late. The damage is minimized. A run on 3 hits and 1 left. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Now the Orioles 2 and the Rangers 1. It's time for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $1,800 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Robert A. Reeve from Garland. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Robert A. Reeve from Garland will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Now the Rangers down in the count now by 1 run, 2-1 Baltimore. Mitch Moreland, Adrian Beltre, and Alex Rios to face Ubaldo Jimenez. The first pitch, a breaking ball, drops over the outside corner for strike 1. Mitch flying to deep left field, back in the first, last time up, called out on strikes. That was in the Ranger 3rd inning. Rangers have had their leadoff man aboard in 4 of the 5 innings against Jimenez. The swinging strike 2. Had a leadoff walk in the first. The double play erased Shin-Soo Choo. Rougned Odor led off the 3rd with a bunt single. Got as far as 2nd. And was stranded there. Adrian Beltre led off the 4th with his solo home run. And Robinson Chirinos led off last inning with a double. But got as far as 3rd and was stranded there. Mitch protecting that outside corner, fouls it out of play to the left. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Jimenez to the wind. And Mitch again, just able to poke it foul. Moreland making his 9th consecutive start in that number 3 spot in Ron Washington's order. In the dirt, now 1-2. Mitch said that he didn't really think about it too much. Wash asked him on the road trip about it. He said, "Yeah, I'll hit there. I'm not going to change my approach to things." 1-2 pitch. Left center field, it is slicing away from Jones on the run, and he makes a nice running catch. Boy, Adam Jones a Gold Glove winner, and you can see why. He covers a lot of ground after a great jump.
That is pretty much what you're looking for when you make a trade or sign a #1 draft choice. Someone who can play a premium position, run, throw, play defense, hit, and hit for power. It's all there. Everything you want in a player, you're looking at it right there.
Now, one away. Here's Beltre. That first pitch.
It's a ball he hit for a home run right there.
Yeah. He was dancing away from that, looking for something else.
He hit a slider pretty much. Well, no, might have been a little more outside than that.
Hard hit. Off the glove of Scoop. And that is going to be a base hit for Beltre. Boy, that was a missile out there. And Scoop did well just to get a glove on it. Might be a little bit sorry he got a glove on it. That might have got him in the palm of the hand or up at the wrist.
Well, that's one that Jimenez is going to look at and say, thank God he didn't get that one up in the air. That would have been his second home run. Yeah, he's getting out of the way, and I don't blame him. Got the glove on it, but not the right part of the glove.
Well, Beltre, a couple of hits tonight. He is aboard with one out. Here's Alex Rios. And the first pitch to him is low. How fast do you think that ball came off the ball?
98, 96, 102. Wow, hit it better than I thought he did.
I think we'd asked Jonathan. If we'd asked Jonathan Scoop, we could have gotten.
He would have said 120.
Yeah. He said, I don't know, but it sure hurt when it hit the outside of my glove. Rios tonight has hit the ball sharply a couple times, once to right and once to short. This one's popped up, foul territory. Davis at the railing, reaching over and can't make the play. It's just out of the reach of a guy that has a huge wingspan in Chris Davis. We'll come back and try it in a ball, or should say 2 balls and a strike. We're going to start yelling, plenty of room, come on over. Rip and a miss. Count evens now at 2-2. Rios on the road trip hit .391. That despite having an 0 for 10 streak in there. Low and outside, the count is now full. So Alex trying to join Adrian Beltre, getting aboard in front of Michael Choice, the next hitter. 2-1 Baltimore. We play in the bottom of the 6th inning. Payoff pitch, Beltre on the move. The pitch is fouled back. Well, Adrian taking off towards second.
Adrian's legs must be feeling pretty good.
Ryan Mattis, the left-hander, is loosening that Oriole bullpen. It looks like he's loosening in a pretty good hurry. Buck Showalter has seen his starter, Ubaldo Jimenez, get to 97 pitches. And 98 is coming after this throw to first base. Inning by inning, 25 pitches in the second inning for Jimenez, 21 in the 5th. Beltre again going. The pitch is low, ball 4. And the walk follows the hard hit base hit by Beltre. 2 aboard with 1 out. Michael Choice stepping to the plate. That is walk number 4 issued by Jimenez tonight. Michael Choice drew one of those walks. That was back in the 2nd. Last time up, called out on strikes. Chance here to at least get the Rangers even with a base hit. And a swinging strike 1. Michael currently hitting at .207. Got Beltre at second, Rios at first. And Jimenez pumps a fastball right through there at 91. 0-2 to Choice. Runners in scoring position this year, Michael Choice has been very good. .371 average. Pops it up. Out goes the shortstop Hardy. Infield fly rule in effect. Hardy puts it away. That is out number 2. And we'll bring up Leonys Martin. And with Buck Showalter coming out, Leonys Martin will not be facing Ubaldo Jimenez. And Showalter has already signaled that he wants Brian Mattis, the left-hander, to come on. And Buck takes the ball from Jimenez. Here's him, Pat. Says, nice job, big fella. So Brian Mattis, the left-hander, coming on. We've got a pitching change underway at Globe Life Park. 2-1 Baltimore. We're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest.
Game 2 of this 3-game set between the O's and the Rangers rolls on tomorrow. As we get you ready for it with the AT&T U-verse TV preview. Nick Markakis looks to continue his hot hitting at Globe Life Park, but Alex Rios hoping to outdo him, having 13 RBI in his last 20 games, and maybe runs scored here in this one, guys.
Leonys Martin chops one to the right side. Scope underhands to Davis, and one pitch from Brian Mattis, and that will do it for the Rangers in the 6th. No runs a hit. 2 men are left. We're on to the 7th inning in Arlington. 2-1 Baltimore. pitcher's duel here at Globe Life Park tonight. It's been decided so far by a couple of home runs. Both solo shots, one for Adam Jones, one for Adrian Beltre. Joe Saunders back to the hill after 6 innings of work, and he is fighting to stay in the ball game as he takes on the Orioles here in the 7th inning. Saunders with 97 pitches through the first 6 innings, 55 strikes, 42 balls. Caleb Joseph, the number 9 hitter and catcher, lines the first pitch he sees to left field for a base hit.
I think what Wash was probably hoping was that he could get Joseph, the 9th place hitter, and then face the left-hand hitter Markakis before the righties Machado, Cruz, and Jones come up. Joseph got a hit. He's still going to face the left-hander right here, and then you'd have to think the right-hander will come in and face the 3 dangerous right-hand hitters.
Yeah, maybe shoot for Nick Markakis in a double play as Jason
nice.
Frazier ready out there if called upon in that Ranger bullpen.
Markakis has been up 231 times. He's only hit into 1 double play. Means he's due for one.
That first pitch is down and in for ball 1. Markakis 1 for 3 tonight. That single came back in the 3rd inning. Looped one down the left field line that fell in for a base hit. 9 hits for the Orioles against Joe Saunders tonight. Left-handers ready back to the plate. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. That pitch number 100 for Saunders. Outfield pretty much straight away for Markakis. Both Andrus and Odor up at double play depth. The 2-0 pitch. That could be one if it gets Elvis tries to flip it out of his glove and flipped it wildly, and everybody's going to be safe.
I don't think Elvis was trying to be fancy with that play. I think he looked at it as his best chance to get it there quickly enough to beat the runner going to second base. Thought off the bat it might be a perfectly hit ball for Elvis to come over, catch, tag second, and turn a double play, but it didn't turn out that way. Looks like it goes off Joe's glove. Elvis gets it and just couldn't get it to second base in time.
Well, that's going to be a base hit, and that's also going to be the last pitch that Joe Saunders will throw tonight. Yeah, you're right, off the end of the glove, and that might have altered the trajectory enough that made it almost impossible. So Saunders will be finished after 6 innings plus 2 hitters here in the 7th. He gives way to the right-hander Jason Frazier. We'll tell you about him when we come back. 2-1 Baltimore. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. For 10 hits tonight, but only 2 runs scored. They lead the Rangers 2-1 here in the 7th inning, and Budweiser line for Joe Saunders. 6 innings of work, 101 pitches tonight, 10 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and he has a couple of runners on base that are his responsibility as he gives way to Jason Frazier.
Well, Jason Frazier's working on a nice little streak of 5 appearances, 4 1/3 scoreless innings. He's lowered his ERA down to 2. Pitched 18 innings, has 20 strikeouts, more than a strikeout per inning. Keeps the ball in the ballpark. He's only given up 1 home run. Yeah, tough situation right now. You've got the tough guys coming up: Machado, Cruz, Jones, and Davis, and 2 men on and nobody out.
Machado 0 for 3 tonight, although he's hit the ball hard all 3 times. Machado 0 for 2 in his career against Frazier, and a bunt. It's bunted foul. He was trying to disguise that as well as he possibly could in hopes that Rangers wouldn't have a good defense for that bunt, but I don't think he's going to catch many folks by surprise.
No, not in that situation. I mean, he's a good young hitter, but you have to at least consider the fact that he might bunt. First and second, nobody out in a close game.
And the average at 224 as he faces Frazier here with 2 on and nobody out.
Rangers think he's going to bunt again. They've got the infield in at first and third. You see Mitch way in at first base.
And it is a bunt that time. It's foul down the third baseline, and Machado, instead of squaring around, he's trying to bunt for a base hit, and as a result, Buck Showalter's now got a decision to make. Do you ask the young man to try and bunt with 2 strikes or let him go ahead and swing?
It's one thing to try to bunt for a base hit on the first pitch when you might catch the infielders by surprise. But once they move in anticipation of a sacrifice bunt, there's no sense trying to disguise a sacrifice bunt. Then it's just your job to get the ball down somehow, like Odor did. Square around, get the sacrifice bunt down. He continued to try to bunt for a base hit. Now he's in a hole 0-2. Jason has a chance to go for a strikeout right here.
Chirinos flashed the signs out. Frazier ready. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Frazier this year has inherited 14 runners, and 5 of them have scored. So a decent figure. A little bit more than a third. Rangers as a team have done a very good job. 23% of the inherited runners have scored. That's shutting it down pretty well. A little bit low. It's 2-2. Machado has twice lined out and once driven Leonis Martin back to the wall with a fly ball. Orioles have Caleb Joseph at second, Nick Markakis at first. Frazier ready for the 2-2 pitch. Call strike 3. At the inside corner, Machado caught window shopping. And he is talking to home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez about the call before he walks back to the dugout.
Let's take a look at it. Maybe not the side of the plate he's trying to throw it on, but definitely caught the very corner of the inside part of the plate. Whether it was where he was trying to throw it or not doesn't really matter. He got the strikeout. Machado didn't like the call, but looked like a pretty good pitch. Pretty good pitcher's pitch anyway.
Well, 1 out. And here's Nelly Cruz, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Slider off the outside corner for ball 1. Cruz 2 for 7 with a home run against Jason Frazier. Frazier a check of second and misses inside. Now 2-0. Cruz, of the 20 home runs this year, has hit more on the road than he has at home, which, considering the size of Baltimore's yard, is a little surprising. He's hit 13 of his 20 home runs away from Camden Yards. Frazier steps off the back of the pitching rubber. Jason rethinking things. 2-0 the count with Cruz up there. Now Frazier ready. 2-1. Cruz not leaving the batter's box. Well, he is staying right there. This is my turf. I'm not going anywhere. Got runners at first and second. Rangers playing a little bit back of double play depth most of the areas. Frazier studying the signs. Jason agrees with Chirinos on one. And that breaking ball hangs inside. It's 3-1. Now Cruz, who was hit by a Scott Feldman pitch on Sunday, out of the lineup after that. That snapped a 12-game hitting streak that he had going. He is back in the lineup here tonight and ahead of the count in a critical situation here in the 7th inning. 3-1 pitch. Off the inside corner, and it's 3-2. Our Echo pitch tracker showing you that number 5 right there on the inside. 3-2 with 1 out. Cruz stepping back in. Frazier says, yep, that's the one we want. A check of the runners. Payoff pitch. Popped him up. Infield fly rule in effect as Rougned Odor makes the grab, and that is a very big out, number 2.
2 big outs, 2 tough hitters. Machado the strikeout, Cruz the pop up, and one more tough one to go through. Adam Jones right here. He ran the fastball in. Good movement on it. He got it in. Nelly, a little weak pop up. One thing about Adam Jones, we talked about being a terrific player. He doesn't walk very much. He only walked 5 times this year. He's hitting 283 coming into the ball game. He's hitting higher than that right now, 292, but his on-base percentage is just right at 300. So with a guy in this situation that's only walked 5 times, it would lead you to believe you probably shouldn't throw him anything near the middle of the plate. Try to throw him something outside the strike zone and get him to swing at it.
Well, he's had a few in the hitting area tonight.
He has
3 for 3, a pair of singles and a home run off the right field foul pole.
He's liable to be a little more anxious with men on base right here. All the more reason not to give him a good pitch to hit.
Into the hole. Elvis is stopped, and the throw is wild. It's backed up by Chirinos. The ball almost gets stuck under the padding and almost went into the photographer's well. And Elvis, a great stop, and tried to throw from the sitting position and threw it wildly, but it's going to go down as a single for Adam Jones, his 4th hit of the night. Fortunately, Elvis coming up with the ball, and the ball doing kind things for the Rangers, staying in play.
Well, Elvis had to slide to get it. He knew he couldn't rearrange his body to make a throw back towards second base. So he took a stab in the dark and tried to get it to third base. Wouldn't have mattered because he couldn't have gotten it there in time anyway. And the Rangers catch a little bit of a break the way the ball goes past Adrian. Chirinos is able to get over to it before any runner can advance. So still a chance to get out of the inning. 2 outs, but the bases are loaded now. Chris Davis is the hitter.
Mike Maddox out there to talk to his battery of Jason Frazier and Robinson Chirinos. Elvis trying to explain to Adrian what happened. Belfry probably got on him a little bit in fun. So the base is full. 2 outs. Chris Davis, who last time up, a towering fly ball that went about halfway up the out-of-town scoreboard in left field. Thing had to be coming pretty much straight down, but looks like he got up there and rode whatever wind there is, helping the ball to left field a bit. A key spot here. Chris 1 for 3. Jason Frazier ready, and the first pitch to him. Rip and a miss. Went up with that fastball. It is 0-1.
Well, Chris can obviously hit a lot of pitches. You can't hit what he did last year, 286, and hit 53 home runs without being able to do that. But if you're going to pitch to him, at least from what we've seen, the best chance with your fastball is to tie him up above the waist and a couple of inches off the plate inside. And I think it gives you your best chance.
Rangers in an overshift. Our Echo pitch tracker showing that pitch up there, and Frazier misses this time a little too high and inside.
And you can see that's where he's trying to keep the ball. Definitely don't want to throw the ball down to him. That's the one he can launch, whether it's inside or outside.
Davis hitting at 232. Frazier set. In the air to right field. Got him down toward the trademark. A play for Alex Rios. And that will do it. Nice job by Jason Frazier, who had first and second, nobody out, and leaves the bases full. Stretch time at Globe Life Ballpark, 2-1 Baltimore. Magazine and Target are celebrating teachers in your community. You can vote for the teacher who will represent your team at the 2014 All-Star Game July 15th on Fox at allstarteachers.com. Recognize a teacher of your choice that does good things in your community. Ryan Mattis back to the hill. A 2-1 Oriole lead as the Rangers come to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. Robinson Chirinos to start things off. Rougned Odor and Shin-Soo Choo to follow. Mattis came on to get Leonis Martin on a ground ball to end the Rangers' 6th. And he fires a strike to Chirinos.
Now, Mattis was the 4th pick in the 2008 draft. He went to the University of San Diego. Orioles obviously drafted him that high in the first round with the idea that they would make him a starting pitcher, which they tried to do. He's kind of evolved into more of a middle reliever right now. He's pitching well in that role. Not what they envisioned when they made the pick.
1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, I wouldn't think you'd spend the 4th overall pick on a guy that say, well, he's probably going to be a middle reliever for us.
No.
It's
no.
not the kind you're looking for right there.
Well, Kansas City's got a guy like that, Aaron Crow. Another guy drafted in, I think, the top 5 in the draft.
Right.
And he's more of a middle reliever now.
Another familiar face to Ranger fans,
Rangers
Darren O'Day.
They know that reliever.
Yeah. Darren O'Day had no illusions of being a starter.
No, he didn't.
Down there. 2-1 the count. And now 3-1 as Mattis misses up and away. So Chirinos trying to get aboard. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He led off the Ranger fifth with a double. He would love to get aboard here so Rougned Odor could move him along. Mattis with the 3-1. That ball is hit deep to left field. I think he got most of that one. At the wall, it is gone. Over the Southwest.com sign, and Robinson Chirinos ties this ball game at 2 with his 3rd home run of the year.
Well, he came into the game only hitting .219, but you wouldn't know it by the performance in this game. He's got a double off the wall, and he launches a high home run to left field to tie the ball game. A great day for Robinson. See what he gets to hit. He gets a fastball inside part of the plate. And he was ready for it. He got it on the good part of the bat. The only question would be, did he hit it so high it wouldn't carry far enough? But it carried right off the top of the wall and out of here. Carried just far enough.
And Rougned Odor fouls off that first pitch from Brian Mattis. Yeah, either right off the top of the wall or one of those supports.
Yeah, couldn't tell.
And Adrian Beltre, who had a leadoff home run of his own back in the 4th inning. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Oh, a brand new ball game, 2 apiece. Odor 1 for 1. Had a bunt single in the 3rd inning. Last time up, had a sacrifice bunt. Rougned a .293 average. He's pulled back even now. A pair of home runs. 37 for the year for the Ranger club. Sliced out a play down the left side by Odor, and the count moves to 1-2.
We're talking about Adam Jones that only walked 5 times. Of course, he's been up over 200 times. Rougned hasn't walked yet.
Breaking ball, and that's pop foul behind home plate. Now, he's not going to get cheated. He goes up there, give me something I can see, and I'm going to swing hard at it. He does, too.
He made pretty good contact. He's only struck out 8 times. He's been up 57 times, but still looking for his first walk.
Mattis into the wind. The left-hander deals. Breaking ball, call strike 3, and Odor knew it.
Yep, he knew it.
Didn't wait around very long for Manny Gonzalez, the home plate umpire, to call it. Mattis gets the strikeout, 1 away, back to the top of the order. Shin-Soo Choo, and let's pause for a Mazda game break with Rick Renner. Rick. All right, Rick, thank you.
5 walks and 6 hits and 2 2/3 and only 5 runs. So pitched out of some jams, didn't he?
That's dancing around. So
they have 5 in the 3rd.
Jew, a ground ball up the middle behind the bag is Hardy. Boy, a quick release. Gold glove caliber release right there from J.J. Hardy. 2 gone.
Yeah, he plays. All shortstops play the position a little bit differently. It's fun to watch the different shortstops play. They're bigger than ever before, more agile than ever before. As athletic as they've ever been, even though they're bigger. Fun to watch J.J. Hardy play shortstop, just like it's fun to watch Elvis.
Alexi Ogando loosening in the Ranger bullpen. 2 outs here in the 7th. A run across on the Chirinos home run as Elvis takes a strike at the knees. Elvis 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout. Changeup floats outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rangers 2 runs on 5 hits. The Orioles 2 runs on 11 hits. And Elvis hits it well to left field. Cruz over toward the alley, and Nelly hauls it in. That'll do it for the Rangers. But Robinson Chirinos in the theme of the night, the leadoff solo home run gets it done for the Rangers. We'll go to the 8th inning. The Rangers 2 and the Orioles 2.
Buzz and Tom, time for the progressive fan of the game. It has to be George and Drew. They came all the way in from where? From Holland. Holland to see the Rangers. How'd you become a Ranger fan from Holland?
Oh, we always watch Major League Baseball on the internet, and we saw them play at World Series in 2011. And since then, we are big fans because of the stadium and the nice place.
There we go. All right, first time here at Globe Life Park. What do you think?
Yeah, it's amazing. All the people, it's amazing. The atmosphere, the food, the beers, and the women.
The women, yes. You so happen to be right next to the women right over here. Congratulations. Here's the bag.
Thank you.
Anything else you like to say?
Come up, Rangers. Yeah!
There we go. All right. Good day, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Actually, with the universal greeting. Alexio Gondo starting off the 8th inning. He is facing J.J. Hardy, and the number is for Alexi.
Yeah, Alexi's starting to throw the ball the way you expect him to throw it. It's been a struggle for him this year. Struggled with his velocity at times, struggled with his command at other times. But hopefully it's starting to come around for him, where he's combining his solid velocity with the command that he's had in the past that's made him such a successful relief pitcher for the Rangers and a starting pitcher at times.
Pitch down and away to Hardy. It's 2 balls and a strike. J.J. tonight 1 for 3. Had a 4th inning single. Got as far as third base and was stranded there. Leading off the top of the 8th inning. Rangers and Orioles deadlocked at 2, and Alexio Gondo reading the signs comes set. And a pop-up. Shallow left field. Elvis waving everybody off. And Adrian Beltre right there putting on his act. That is out number 1. Folks on the first base side of the stands probably looked up and they didn't know which guy was going to catch it, whether it be Beltre or Elvis. You can't tell when you're right in line.
It's harder to tell down below. Take a look. Who's got it? Just watch the fielders. Adrian looks like he's underneath it. Nope.
Adrian keeps looking up there like he's waiting for a bird to fly by or something. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Delman Young.
That's just one of the things that makes him unique. I don't remember any player ever doing that. Why would you?
Roller out to short, and Elvis can't come up with a bare hand. With Delman Young running, I don't even think that had Elvis come up with it cleanly, he would have had a shot at Young. Young gets down that line pretty well. Will go as an infield single for Delman Young.
Alexi made a great pitch. He runs his fastball way in on the fist and jammed him. You can see him just kind of fighting that ball off. He didn't get out of the box very well, but Elvis is playing all the way back on the grass. Had a long way to go to get it. Just couldn't quite grab that ball off the heel of his hand.
Well, that is the 12th hit for the Orioles tonight. Jonathan Scope, the second baseman, now steps in. And Ogando will go to work on Delman Young. Scope 1 for 3. He has grounded out twice. Once of the ground outs into a double play. He also had a double. Ogando, a belt high set. The pitch is very high for ball 1. Ogando okays the sign. He's ready. And a pitch hitting up and in. And it got Scope on that front shoulder. Well, that's going to put 2 aboard with 1 out for Caleb Joseph. Well, that pitch just completely got away from Ogando.
Catcher Caleb Joseph.
An infield single, and now this hit by pitch. You got first and second with 1 out. Caleb Joseph is 1 for 3 tonight. Joseph, base hit to left his last time. Neil Kotz, major left-hander, getting ready. And after Joseph, you have the left-hander Nick Markakis. And I would think that unless Ogando gets out of this with a double play, you'll probably see Kotz come in to face Markakis. But first things first, here's Joseph. And Ogando fires a strike. It is 0-1. Joseph with just 32 at bats in just a tad under a month since being called up from AAA. 0-1 pitch. That's out of play down the right side. The count moves to 0-2. Joseph at Norfolk, which is the AAA affiliate of the Orioles, hitting .261 in 22 games. Had a couple of home runs. Delman Young gets his lead from second right there at the bottom of your screen. Right center field on his horse, and he's not going to get there. Leonis Martin, and Rios plays the ball off the wall. 1 run is home. Stopping at third is Scope, and an opposite field double by Caleb Joseph gets the Orioles on top. It is 3-2 Baltimore.
Well, he had him no balls and 2 strikes and looked like he just tried to hump up and throw his best fastball by him. And he threw it 95 miles an hour, but I don't think he had the location he wanted. And the 9th place hitter, Caleb Joseph, trying to throw it down and away, throws it right down the middle of the plate. Instead of having a chance for an out, he drives it into the gap for an RBI double. Just not the pitch, not the execution of the pitch that he wanted to make.
So that is going to do it for Alexi Ogando. He faces the 4 hitters here in the 8th inning, and he's given up a run on 2 hits and a hit batter with a third of an inning under his belt. And Neil Kotz coming in. Pitching change again underway here at Globe Life Park. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. selection on the AT&T fan photo of the evening. Won every ball game on Fox Sports Southwest tonight. This comes from Audra. Good looking hats. I like those fedoras. Those are very stylish out here at the ballpark. Thank you, Audra. Appreciate it. If you all would like to tweet your photo, maybe we'll get it on the air. One of our selections on the Fox Sports AT&T fan photo. Neil Cott's on now, and he is on to face the left-hander Markakis.
Yeah, Neil's been working his numbers down into respectable territory. A tough assignment right here. 1 out, second and third.
Infield all the way in with Markakis up there. And the first pitch is low for ball 1. Pair of singles from Markakis, one a looper to left. The last one, a ground ball right back up the middle, went off the glove of Joe Saunders. And then Elvis Andrus couldn't make a play behind the bag. Pitch outside, it's 2-0.
Neil's only given up 2 earned runs in his last 14 1/3 innings. And a couple of bad outings that had his ERA skyrocketing, but he's worked hard in his last 16 appearances to get it right back down there.
Cott's peering in for the sign. The left-hander is ready. The 2-0 pitch. Base hit to center field. 1 run is home. They're going to put the stop sign up at third as the throw comes in from Leonis Martin. But Nick Markakis, an RBI base hit, his 3rd hit of the night. And the Orioles make it a 2-run game. It is now 4-2 Baltimore. Well, not hit well, but hit in the right spot for Markakis. Drives in his 19th run of the year.
14th hit for the Orioles tonight. They only have 4 runs. They've had a lot of hits. And right off the end of the bat. Just blooped it between the shortstop and the center fielder. Let's see, slow motion shows exactly where that hit off the end of the bat.
Well, 4 consecutive Orioles have reached base. 2 of them have scored. Here's Manny Machado, who is 0 for 4. This pitch is inside for ball 1. Machado has lined out twice. He has flied to deep center. He's also struck out. Up there now with Caleb Joseph at third and Nick Markakis at first. And that one's off the glove of Kotz. It's slowing down. Elvis, the throw not in time. In to score is Joseph. Boy, you talk about things not bouncing your way. That was a sure double play ball if it doesn't ricochet off of Kotz's glove. Instead, Rangers don't get an out at all, and a run scores. It's 5-2.
Yeah, it's impossible to ask the pitcher to let that ball go. As you well know, Buzz, your instincts take over and you try to catch the ball. Had he, as you just said, had he not touched it, it looks like it takes 1 hop. Elvis steps on second, throws to first, and Rangers are out of the inning. But that wasn't to be. It goes off Neil's glove and turns into a base hit and an RBI.
Well, with that base hit, Ron Washington again going out to the mound. You've got the right-handers, Cruz and Jones, coming up. And Ron Washington, a slow walk out there to talk to Neil Kotz and probably take him back to the dugout. He wants the right-hander to come on. So another pitching change in this inning. Neil Kotz finished after facing a couple of hitters. Sean Tollison will be the new pitcher when we come back. A timeout now with the Orioles leading 5-2. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest.
The Rangers down 5-2 in the middle of another pitching change and a little trouble in the 8th inning. Rick Renner here in the Captain Morgan Club. Hey, coming up after the game, we got an exciting Rangers Live presented by Esurance. Mark McLemore will be here to break it all down. Emily Jones work in the locker room for interviews. We'll hear from the stars in this one. Plus Ron Washington. That's after the game. Rangers Live presented by Esurance, guys.
All right, Rick. Look forward to that. Right now, the Rangers trying to get out of this 8th inning without any further damage. Sean Tollison into the ball game. He inherits runners at first and second with one out, and Nelson Cruz coming up.
Yeah, Sean's been throwing the ball really well. His ERA had gotten up close to 5, but he's had 8 straight scoreless appearances over 11 and a third innings, and he's seen it go from 486 down to 289. Opponents are only hitting 196 against him. He's on a nice roll right now.
Cruz jacks one to left. You can forget about that. It is gone.
So much for the scoreless streak.
Nelson Cruz with his 21st home run of the year, and the Orioles have broken it open here in the 8th. It is 8-2.
Yeah, that was the ultimate hanging slider to the wrong guy.
Well, Cruz, 21 home runs, 55 RBI.
Well, you're going to see the pitch. It wants it down and away, and it's up and in. Right out over the plate, and to a guy that's leading the major leagues in home runs, that's a bad place to put it.
Yep. So a tie ball game entering the 8th has turned into an 8-2 Baltimore advantage. And Adam Jones, a swing and a miss. The estimated distance on this Cruz missile, 404 feet. Our Echo pitch tracker showing you exactly where you do not want to throw a pitch.
No.
If you want to get that baseball back unharmed. Foul back. And Jones, who is 4 for 4 tonight. Down in the count here to Tollison, and 0-2. Adam Jones, it's his 12th career game tonight with 4 hits. Makes that pitch just inside. That is his career high. He's never had a 5-hit game. And Sean Tollison trying to make sure he doesn't have one here tonight. A ball and 2 strikes. Tollison is ready. Call strike 3. Jones knew it. That little cut fastball came back to the inside corner. And Jones retired for the first time tonight. That's the second out here in the 8th inning. That'll be Chris Davis. Davis is the 9th Oriole to come to bat in this 8th inning. 6 of them have scored. Davis 1 for 4 tonight. 1 ball, no strikes. We had talked a little before about Tanner Scheppers and Jim Adducci, both of them on rehab assignments with AA Frisco. Jim Adduci tonight, his first experience playing first base for the Rough Riders, went 1 for 4 in that game. Tanner Scheppers worked an 8th inning, pretty uneventful. Gave up a hit, but no runs, only 6 pitches, 5 of them for strikes. So Tanner, who had a little bit of a problem keeping the ball in the ballpark his last outing, able to get through tonight with no problems at all. Two and 1, the count to Davis. And the pitch inside, it's 3 balls and a strike. Well, the inning started pretty innocently. Alexi Ogando Got J.J. Hardy to pop out to short. Boy, after that, though, things deteriorated quickly.
Yeah, it's too bad because he made a good pitch to Delman Young, the second hitter, and jammed him, and he got a little dribbler for an infield hit. Then hit the 8th place hitter, and then an 0-2 pitch right down the middle of the plate, and the 9th place hitter, who was 2 for 29 coming into the game, doubled in the gap. So it just didn't go well.
Payoff pitch is outside, and Chris Davis takes the walk. Tollison loses Davis. And now J.J. Hardy, who began this whole mess by popping to short, will come up for his second at bat in this inning.
He can go for 2 in the same inning. Started out with an out, finish it with an out. It'll be the bookends for this inning.
And a strike on the outside corner. Hardy 1 for 4. And a single back in the 4th inning. Davis not being held at first as Tollison misses off the outside corner. Well, the Orioles tonight, 8 runs on 16 hits. Rangers 2 runs on just 5 hits. Fouled straight back. And the count moves to 1-2. Now this is game 1 of this 3-game series. Tomorrow night, Nick Martinez and Bud Norris, the principals. 1-2 pitch, pop foul. That will again reach the seats. On Thursday, Colby Lewis will face Miguel Gonzalez for the Orioles. All of these are 7 o'clock starts here at Globe Life Park. Chopper to Mitch Moreland, and Mitch will take it to the bag himself, and that'll do it. The 10 men come to the plate for the Orioles. They score 6 times. They have opened up a commanding 8-2 lead over the Rangers as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Hey, North Texas fans, Fox Sports Southwest wants you to show your school spirit at a Texas Rangers game. You get discounted tickets for Wednesday, July 8th, a game against the Astros here at the ballpark. Show your support for the Rangers and the Mean Green. Go to TexasRangers.com/UNT for details. Mitch Moreland will start off the Ranger 8th inning. Texas now trailing 8-2. Brian Mattis back to the hill and dealing to Mitch. It is a strike. Moreland 0 for 3 tonight. Next pitch is a bit low. Moreland, a couple of flyouts and a strikeout tonight. Mattis back to him. Pulled the string and had Mitch out in front. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, the only damage the Rangers have done tonight in the run column have been the result of leadoff home runs. Beltre in the 4th, Chirinos in the 7th. David Lowe has entered the ball game, taking over in left field for Nelson Cruz. And Cruz finishes up the night 1 for 4. That big 3-run home run capped off a 6-run Oriole outburst in the 8th. Tapper right back to the mound. Mattis on to first, and Moreland is retired, 1 away. Now Adrian Beltre coming up. Take a look at the AT&T U-verse Rewind tonight. And leading off the 4th inning, how about Adrian Beltre? He said hello to a slider, and 376 feet later, was in the 3rd row out there. Well, with Beltre coming to the plate with just 1 out here in the 8th inning, Buck Showalter going out there to bring in Darren O'Day, a familiar face. Pitching change underway here at Globe Life Park. We'll be back after this with the Orioles leading 8-2. Savings when you visit Globe Life Park. Just enter Dr. Pepper as the coupon code at TexasRangers.com/specials, or bring any Dr. Pepper can to the ballpark for savings of at least 25% for most Sunday through Thursday games. Offer is good through July, and it's a perfect way to celebrate the start of summer. Just over 31,000 on hand here tonight, celebrating the end of spring, if you will. And Darren O'Day, former Ranger, on now to work to Adrian Beltre.
Well, Darren has carved a nice career for himself, having another spectacular year. 24th game, his ERA is under 1. Opponents are hitting just a little bit over 200 against him.
Beltre coming out of his shoes to try and get on top of that pitch, and his left hand came off the bat.
Darren O'Day in the last 2 years with Baltimore, a 2.28 ERA and a 2.18 ERA. 69 games, 68 games. So he's been used frequently and done a great job for the Orioles.
And Beltre shoots one right back through the middle.
Got that one down enough to really ripped it.
Adrian with his third consecutive hit, third hit tonight, is aboard with one out.
And they've all been hit well too. Home run, smash off the glove of the short second baseman, and then a hard line drive back through the middle.
Well, that's what you call dropping the head of that bat on the ball, isn't it?
Again, just about a strikeout per inning over the last couple of years. So for a guy that's not a hard thrower, the submarine type delivery, he's also a strikeout pitcher.
Mm-hmm. Folks remember when O'Day was here and the good teams, World Series team, 2010, 2011, he would go up the ladder with guys and seemingly just throw the ball right by him. He had to set it up properly.
Yeah, he did. He would go away with the sliders, get ahead in the count, and then put him away with a high fastball. Yeah, time after time.
Rise ball.
Yeah, that was his game plan.
And a fly ball off the bat of Rios to right field. Markakis backpedaling. Makes the catch. That is out number 2. Back to first goes Beltran, and now it'll be Michael Choice.
Now, he's had 4 full seasons, 2 with the Rangers, 2 with the Orioles, where he's averaged about 67 or 68 games, and the highest ERA is 2.28. Lowest was 1.94 with the Rangers. In his career, he's 20-9 with a 2.62 ERA. So he's been a terrific relief pitcher, kind of one of the underappreciated relief pitchers in the American League because he doesn't get a lot of saves, but there haven't been many setup men do a better job than him over a 4 or 5 year period.
Oh, 0-1 the count to Michael Choice. Michael has walked, struck out, and popped out. Beltre at first after the 1-out single. He was there 1 out later. And Michael takes high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, this Darren O'Day fits right in the bullpen along with Zach Britton. They both they rank 2nd and 3rd in relief ERA in the American League. A rip and a miss. O'Day's, you mentioned the 0.82, and Zach Britton is 3rd at 0.91. That's a pretty good 1-2 combo they've got going.
Yeah, 2 pretty good acquisitions. The Rangers got Darren O'Day on a waiver claim, and the Orioles got him on a waiver claim as well. So both teams got him for basically nothing. Got one of the best setup men in baseball.
You know, Micah Choice down swinging. That'll do it for the Rangers. They get a hit, but strand a runner. 9th inning coming up in Arlington. It's the Orioles leading 8-2 on Fox Sports Southwest. 542, and many of them have said uncle on this school night. One of the last school nights we'll have as we enter June. Orioles leading 8-2 as they come to bat here in the 9th inning, and it'll be Robbie Ross, 6th pitcher used tonight by Ron Washington. Robbie taking over for the 9th inning.
Robbie's numbers on the season, a lot of those games were starts. Why he's got so many innings.
First hitter he faces, Delman Young, a rip and a miss. It is 0-1. Robbie Ross Jr. trying to get himself back together. He's had a kind of a rough couple of outings coming out of the bullpen. Last time out in Washington, he gave up some cheap hits and some ringing hits, and Robbie ended up giving 3 runs in 2 1/3 innings that time out. But the line looks a little bit worse than what it actually was. Robbie has a sign he wants. Young waiting the 1-2 pitch. That got a piece of Robinson Chirinos' throwing hand. Part of being a major league catcher is not fun. That part is not fun at all. Looks like he got that right off his right thumb. Yep. Off the meaty part of his thumb, but that's going to hurt for a while.
Hand going numb.
2-2 pitch. Delman Young's going to have to send out for another supply of knuckles. He's getting them knocked off tonight. But he has a couple of hits, so you can't complain too much about that. To right center field, Alex Rios into the alley and makes the catch. That is out number 1. Well, Young flies out. Now Jonathan Scope. Scope, just a 22-year-old. He's from Curacao. Signed by the Orioles as a non-drafted free agent back in 2008. Well, he was just a pup, 16-year-old when he signed. And Robbie deals a strike to the inside corner. Scope at 6'2" and 210 pounds. Not exactly your prototypical second baseman, size-wise or ability-wise. Has some power. Ross with a 1-1. Got him on the fist, and that's fouled away. Scope came up last year at the tail end of the 2013 season. Appeared in 5 ball games for the Orioles. Way inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Next pitch from Robbie. Up the middle into center field, a base hit. Scope with his second hit of the night. He has been on 3 times now. He was hit by a pitch last time and came around to score in that 6-run 8th inning.
They've got a lot of guys who've been on base tonight. 17 hits in the ball game.
One on, one out. Caleb Joseph, the catcher, now will step to the plate. Joseph was the one that, with runners at first and second, had a double to the gap in right center that scored the first run of that 6-run outburst last inning, and maybe the most important hit.
Yeah, that one hurt. You got the 9th place hitter, inexperienced player, and make an 0-2 pitch, throw it right down the middle of the plate.
And Robbie Ross jerks one completely across the width of home plate and the width of the batter's box and hits Joseph on that left thigh. Well, that was a problem that Robbie had a little bit earlier when he was still starting. Went through a streak where he didn't walk anybody for almost 100 hitters, but he hit 6.
Yeah. And what do you do when you yank one in like that, Buzz? You just hang on to it too long? Or
I guess. I don't know. I can't tell you.
But he's hit about however many batters he's hit them all in the same spot. About halfway between the knee and the hip. And I think they're all cut fastballs.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're probably within maybe 4 or 5 inches. If they had a bullseye on there, they'd all be in the center. Now Nick Markakis up for the 5th time. Mick, that's the 6th time tonight. He is 3 for 5. 3 singles and RBI. He has scored a run tonight. Runners at first and second, 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. And a strike at the knees makes it 1-1. Now for Robbie, you'd have to say it's a mechanical problem. It's certainly not trying to be too fine or trying to guide the ball or anything else. And it's just a mechanical problem. And I think it has to do with him getting his arm angle a little bit low. There's a double play grounded to Odor. And Elvis turns it over. That's what you were looking for. Well, 4-6-3, and that'll take care of the Orioles in the 9th inning. Rangers come to bat with 6 runs to make up 8-2 Baltimore. On Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT to rethink possible. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. Bottom of the 9th inning has arrived. Rangers have some work to do. They trail 8-2, and Preston Guillemette is the new pitcher for the Orioles.
Only his 8th game since being called up to the big leagues. Good strikeout to walk ratio, though. 11 strikeouts and 1 walk. Opponents featuring a 133 opponent's batting average off him right now.
For the Rangers, it'll be Leonis Martin, followed by Robinson Chirinos and Rougned Odor. Guillemette last worked on Sunday down in Houston. He had an inning of work, gave up a couple of hits, and a 2-run home run. Fires a strike. And Leonis down on the count, now 0-1. Martin walked his first time up. Since then, he has grounded out twice. And he lashes one down the first base side. It's a fair ball headed in the right field corner. Markakis over to dig it out. Going for 3 is Leonis Martin. He is in standing with a triple. turned around that pitch in a hurry. And Lightning Martin is right.
Just barely kept it fair down the right field line, but it was definitely hit with some authority. Kind of a deceptive delivery that Guillemette features over the top. Wasn't too deceptive to him, though. Leonis just ripped that ball down the right field line.
Now Chirinos drives one to center. That'll be deep enough to score. Leonis Martin. Adam Jones' throw is late. And Martin comes in. The sacrifice fly for Chirinos. That makes it an 8-3 Oriole lead. As Robinson Chirinos drives home his 12th run, his second run tonight.
So Robinson's had a good night. Struck out the first time up, but then a double, a home run, and a line shot to center field for an RBI sac fly. 3 good at-bats for Robinson tonight. Rangers 3 runs and 7 hits. The Orioles 8 runs on 17 hits tonight. We're going to check at third base to make sure that Leonis waited long enough before going home.
Field and Colbreth, the umpire over there, making the call, and Buck Showalter saying, "Really?" Yeah.
You better leave about 2 seconds too early to get the call under those circumstances.
Rougned Odor tonight is 1 for 2. And he has a pretty good rip at that fastball. Fouls it back. No balls, 2 strikes. Odor a bunt single leading off the Ranger 3rd inning. Also had a sacrifice bunt. That was in the 5th. Last time up, called out on strikes. High fastball, able to lay off. 1-2 now. Some of the Ranger faithful, I think you can hear them in the background getting that chant going. Shallow center field, and J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, making the call and the catch. And the Rangers now down to their final out, trailing 8-3. Shin-Soo Choo will come up for his 5th time to the plate. Choo walked back in the first, since then has grounded out twice and struck out. So Choo, who is having some pretty difficult times of late swinging the bat. Go back over the last 24 games, and he's hit right at 200. Overall average at 284 for Shin-Soo. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a chopper off of Chu's foot. Now 1-2. First time that Shin-Soo Choo had faced the Orioles since 2012. But the last 11 ball games coming into tonight, Choo had hit over 370 against them. 1-2 pitch on the way. That will even the count. Next pitch to Choo is lashed out of play on the third base side.
You can tell that Shin-Soo is not as comfortable at the plate as he was earlier, and it probably has a little bit to do with, you know, the injury that he's had. But he's missed some pitches tonight that when he was in his hot streak, he was just either hitting out of the ballpark or lining in the gaps. And you can tell his timing's a little bit off, and it may have a lot to do with the ankle injury that he suffered. He's up there battling, but it's not happening for him quite the same way it was when he was hot.
Takes ball 4 outside, and he's on for the second time tonight. Choo working that 2-out walk, and now Elvis Andrus will come out.
He's not taking any chances. Getting someone up in the bullpen. Don Cheedy in the bullpen for the Orioles.
Elvis takes a strike. Andrus 0 for 4 tonight. He has grounded out a couple of times and flied out. Also struck out. We're going to have a pinch runner for Shin-Soo Choo. It'll be Donnie Murphy coming off the Ranger bench. Pinch run, so Wash trying to at least get Choo off his sore ankle for a trip around the bases potentially. 0-1 to Elvis. 1-1, and Murphy strolling into second. Defensive indifference will allow him the extra 90 feet. Zach Britton, the left-hander we talked about, along with Darren O'Day, just not giving up anything to anybody this year so far.
Well, Tommy Hunter was the closer. He's on the disabled list right now. Zach Britton has gotten some save opportunities. You're right, Buzz. Based on his performance, you can see why.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Elvis waiting. And the pitch is chopped foul down the third base side. We'll come back and try it again. There's Tommy.
Tommy Hunter has 11 saves as their closer. He's got a 6.06 ERA and a 3.68 opponent's batting average. He's got 11 saves. 25 hits in 16 innings.
And pitch out of play on the right side. I guess that means when
he may have lost that job.
Well, when he's closing them out, he's closing them out quickly, and the other times, not so good.
No.
Another 1-2 pitch. Little looping line drive to J.J. Hardy, and that will do it. Well, the Rangers score a run in the 9th inning. They get a run on a hit and strand one. And the Orioles win the first ball game of this 3-game set. The final tonight, Baltimore 8 and the Rangers 3. Orioles 8 runs on 17 hits. Rangers 3 runs on 7 hits. Well, the Orioles get it done here this evening in the first game of this series. And Rick Renner and Mark McLemore will be back to wrap things up right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.